Freeland says she won't be negotiating in public.
What I will say is Canada believes in this agreement. We have strong interest in having this deal ratified.
Negotiate the White House to add new labor provisions. If progress isn't made now, there's little chance of ratification before U.S. politics is swamped in impeachment proceedings and preparations for the next presidential election. Mexico's the only country so far to have ratified the deal. Cormac makes 20 Parliament Hill.
Well, one of the stars of the upcoming Star Wars film has admitted it was his script that was stolen and put on eBay.
Shit.
The Rise of Skywalker, the culmination of 9 movies, and its secrets are among those closely guarded in Hollywood history, unless you're John Boyega.
The long night boys over. It was a party night, and so the scripts got left underneath that bed.
That was at his apartment, and he tells us the housekeeper found it, put it on eBay, and then Disney stepped in.
There was actually a security team of guys, which I think they should have their own biopic. They were like house raids.
The script had his name on every page, but he was surprisingly chill about the whole thing.
I can't lie, I didn't care. Film's done, we wrapped. Ain't nothing you can do.
Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker is out December 20th. Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Hollywood. In 30 seconds, we'll see if the price at the pumps is moving at midnight.
680 News Time 909.
This is 680 News. Rising 47 stories above church in Adelaide comes a building that can only be described as remarkable. Introducing The Saint from Minto Communities. The Saint takes its place alongside Toronto's most iconic buildings. Find your center. Register at thesaintcondos.com. Minto Communities.
Now the 680 News gas price update. Enpro predicts the price of the pumps will go up a cent at midnight to $1.18.9 a liter.
680 News Time 910. It's no mystery that Tasco Appliances has the most knowledgeable pros and widest selection in the GTA. What is a mystery is how much you'll save this weekend at Tasco's Mystery Envelope event. You could save as much as 40% off a qualifying purchase, and every envelope is a winner. Do Black Friday the Tasco way and open your mystery envelope this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at a Tasco near you. Visit TascoAppliance.ca for details.
Hey, you're that famous actress. You must travel so much. What's the best site for hotel deals?
Hilton.com.
No. One with crazy savings.
Hilton.com. With their price match guarantee, if you find a better rate, they match it and take 25%.
No, one with lots of options.
Hilton.com has 16 top hotel brands. Hampton, Hilton Garden Inn, Waldorf Astoria.
Hilton.com. You should totally do their commercial.
Expect better. Expect Hilton.
You're good.
I know, thank you.
Applicable terms and conditions at Hilton.com.
680 News Time 911.
Now traffic and weather together on one's first stop the traffic center. It's Kyle Hawking.
And this report brought to you by Jack Astor's Restaurants. It's a very quiet drive now on the highways. We don't have much construction set up because of the rain and wind, but what is out there is not really causing any delays. You want to be aware of a couple of ramp closures. If you're traveling the eastbound 407, first of all, crews are getting in position to close the ramp to Jane. That's for construction. And then further along from Yonge to Bayview, 3 left lanes are blocked for maintenance, but no delay through this area. None of the construction set up on the east or west 401 is causing any delays, and no ramp closures either on that route. We do have a ramp closure affecting the QEW. First of all, westbound at the 427, they're just blocking off the right lane for construction. And as part of this, just beyond the 427, the West Mall ramp to the West QEW is being closed off as well as part of the maintenance. The rest of the highway is really very, well, there's not a whole lot to mention. It's a pretty quiet drive right now, so enjoy it. It's kind of rare. Jack Astor's now has 11 bowls and salads starting at just $10.97. Why not try one with half-priced wine Sunday to Tuesday only at Jack Astor's? Your next report at 9:21, and with the forecast, here's Carl Lamb.
And temperatures continue to cool down across the GTA at this time. It's now down to 5 degrees at Pearson. And we're headed down to an overnight low of +3. And it's going to be mostly cloudy, still remaining windy. That's going to be with us tomorrow as well. So when the kids head off to school, make sure they dress for the afternoon. You as well, because it is going to be a temperature of 3 degrees in the morning, but an afternoon high of just 0. And then cloudy conditions will lead to maybe a little bit of sunshine breaking through, but those winds don't diminish until we head into later tomorrow evening. Friday's much better, but still cold. It's a high of 0 with a mix of sun and cloud. Right now, 5 at Pearson, 7 in downtown Toronto. Tonight's overnight low +3.
680 News Time, 9:13.
Mayor John Tory today put a board game Torontopoly into the big box in the City Hall Rotunda to officially kick off the annual Holiday Toy and Food Drive. From the Toronto Fire Service, president of the drive, Rick Buren, says the need for donations grows every single year. And he says this year there is a special demand for gifts for boys and girls 10 and up.
How about this? Socks, mitts, gloves, the basic necessities that we often take for granted.
PlayStations and iPods.
Body wash kits, personal hygiene items, makeup kits, hair dryers, toques, sweaters. All of those things are items that we desperately need.
This is also a food drive for the Daily Bread Food Bank. You can drop off your donations by noon on December 20th. Plenty of time at any Toronto fire station or at Metro Hall or right here at City Hall. Coming up in 60 seconds, we'll recap your top stories.
680 News Time, 9:14.
Tonight at 8, Detective Reggie Stronghold makes solving crime look as easy as switching to RBC.
Switching to RBC is the new easy. Switch by January 31st and you can receive up to $1,100 in combined value. Other terms and conditions apply. Visit rbc.com/switching bonus.
Proton.net wants to show you how to make a play this hockey season. When everyone says the favorite has it in the back of the net, you take your slap shot on the underdog. When the stakes are highest, you're just getting started. When all of social media says you've got no chance, you've got the perfect chirp to prove them wrong. Even when the odds are stacked against you, you're giving it at least 110%. Don't miss a chance to make a play at Photon.net, your source of free casino games, poker strategy, and live hockey odds. Tonight at 8, Detective Reggie Stronghold makes solving crime look as easy as switching to RBC.
Switching to RBC is the new easy. Switch by January 31st and you can receive up to $1,100 in combined value. Other terms and conditions apply. Visit rbc.com/switching bonus.
This is All News Radio, 680 News. We've got a mostly cloudy sky in downtown Toronto, sitting at 7 degrees. Good evening from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm Scott Burnett.
And I'm Caitlin Lee. Here are the top stories this hour.
TTC buses have replaced all streetcars along Queen Street for the foreseeable future as crews work to find what's damaging the streetcars' brakes. Extra treatments will also be added to King Street to help with the overflow or in the time being. Two major storms wreaking havoc on Thanksgiving travel plans, the busiest travel weekend in the U.S. coming up this American long weekend. Those systems also bringing a bit of rain and a dip in temperatures here in the GTA. Your forecast coming up. And starting January 1st, a pilot project allowing e-scooters to be driven in some communities. You're going to have to be 16 years old, though. Wear your helmet, have a horn or bell, and front and rear lights if you want to drive them. Time for 680 Sports, brought to you by 2001 Audio Video and from Sportsnet 590 The Fan, George Russick. Scott, the Maple Leafs rolling
That
in
was the
Motown
top
tonight.
story. You fucking serious?
Tyson Barrie. Barrie shot. It's something on the way to the net. But he's got another one. And it's 2-0 Toronto.
John Bartlett with the call on Sportsnet. The Maple Leafs scored really early in the first period thanks to goals from Travis Dermott and Tyson Barrie. They're all over the Red Wings here. 6-0. 13:50 to go in the third period. Andreas Janssen with the pair, John Tavares and William Nylander, the other goal scorers for the Maple Leafs. Raptors in action right now on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. They lead the next 85-67, 1:15 to go here in the third quarter. Fred VanVleet has 13 points for the Raptors, who also have 31 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists from Pascal Siakam. RJ Barrett in his homecoming right now for the Knicks. Struggling a little bit, has 5 points. Sports at 15:45 past every hour, or anytime at home at Tim and Sid, now on radio and TV. Sportsnet 590 The Fan. 680 News Time, 9:17.
It's finally here. The best Black Friday sale ever is on now at 2001 Audio Video. All home audio, streaming audio, and 4K smart TVs are all on sale chain-wide with unbeatable door crashers up to 80% off.
Oh shit, they got the fucking PC store.
Anywhere. So, no need to go anywhere else. 2001, your home entertainment experts. 2001.
interrupt our catchy sell-off vacations jingle to bring you the following urgent message. Right now, during our Black Friday save-off sale, you can save up to 50% off select vacations. So show off your deal hunting skills. And yes, it's okay to brag about the deal you got. Look now for the best selection. Store hours are extended Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Visit one of our 6 stores in the GTA.
680 News Time 9:18.
New details emerging in the case of 2 men accused of sexually assaulting a woman in the College Street bar 3 years ago. Former bar manager Enzo de Jesus Carrasco has been accused in 3 other sexual assault cases in relation to other women he met through the bar. The Crown says the women came forward after Carrasco was charged in connection with the case that's now before the jury. Information about the previous charges was kept from the jury in order to give them a fair trial. Carrasco and another man, Gavin McMillan, are now facing charges of gang sexual assault, forcible confinement, and administering a stupefying drug. The City of Toronto is fighting the tenants corner, adopting a new policy change that could soon see apartments being subjected to a color rating system. Just like in a restaurant where you see the green safe dining certificates, landlords would also have to post a color-coded sign. The Toronto Star reports that this sign would display a rating from the city and landlords that would have to pay up if they fail to provide for tenants in the event of disaster. The move comes as the city continues to pay in the millions for housing and social services for tenants.
But the landlords are legally responsible for it if they never pursued them for it. They never pursued them for that money.
McKenna says her top priority as the country's new infrastructure minister is to get projects built quickly. The Liberal government committing more than $180 billion over 12 years to improving roads, bridges, public transit systems, and other needed infrastructure across the country. But it has been criticized for failing to get the money out of the door and shovels in the ground quickly. McKenna, in her first speech since being named to the job last week, told municipal leaders that accelerating the pace of projects that could make a real difference in the lives of Canadians is the first of 3 main priorities as she settles into her new role. She underscored her point by donning a white hard hat. Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic in your extended forecast.
680 News Time 9:20.
You've heard the song, but until you've seen it live, you haven't experienced the magic of Cats. It's the memory shared by millions. Cats. On stage now through January 5th at the Princess of Wales Theatre. Get tickets at mervish.com.
What does your dream home look like? Hi, I'm Jeannie Becker, and for over 50 years, Georgian Renovations has been designing spaces you'll love. We know how hard it is making a decision to renovate, so for a limited time only, we're offering our interior design services for the incredible value of $5,000. See your vision come to life before you decide on your renovation, and buy with confidence, knowing exactly what your dream home will look like. Schedule your design consultation today at georgianreno.com.
680 News Time 9:21.
Traffic and weather together on the ones. Kyle.
This report brought to you by Monte Carlo Inns. Well, we have no volume delays on the highways, so I'll go over a little bit of the construction and some ramp closures specifically. I won't bother mentioning any lane closures because, again, no delays, but we've got a few ramp closures, restricted access points on the 407 eastbound 407. The ramp to Jane Street is closed, and also the southbound Dufferin ramp to the eastbound 407 off limits as well. Similar on the westbound 407, the southbound Dufferin ramp to the west 407 has also been closed, all for road work. No ramp closures on the 401. We have a lane blocked on a ramp, East 401 ramp to Keels, down to a single lane for construction. They may end up closing that. That's typical for overnight construction, so we keep an eye on that. Also, we have a ramp restriction on the QEW, westbound QEW, seeing some construction going on west of the 427. So the West Mall ramp to the West QEW has been shut down for construction as part of that as well. And again, the rest of your highway's just fine. No other ramp restrictions. Transfers are all open. It's a pretty smooth drive all in all right now. With locations throughout southern Ontario, the Monte Carlo Inns are your home away from home and your office away from the office. Book today at montecarloinns.com. Your next report at 9:31 with the extended forecast. Here's Carl Lamb.
Thank you, Kyle. Windy tonight, mostly cloudy, and we're headed down to +3. Tomorrow, +3 is the high temperature. We slide down to 0 during the afternoon. It will be cloudy. We may see a few breaks of sunshine, and the northwest wind is going to be very noticeable, between 20 to 40 kilometers per hour, gusting to 60 occasionally tomorrow. Friday, much calmer, just a light northerly wind, so adding to the chill of a high temperature of just 0 with a mix of sun and cloud, and a wind chill of -4 for Friday. Saturday, -2, mainly cloudy. And then Sunday is when the next storm system arrives with some ice pellets to start, with wet snow. Temperatures will be hovering around +2, but we could see a little bit of accumulation with this, but we're going to keep a very close eye on it. Right now, 5 degrees at Pearson, 6 degrees at 680 News. Tonight's overnight low +3.
680 News Time 9:23.
Getting you where you need to go
Faster.
The most traffic in Toronto. 680 News.
This Black Friday at Rogers, you can unwrap more during the Wrapped in Red event. That means more of our greatest offers of the year, like a $0 iPhone 11 with a new ultra-wide dual camera system, and infinite data you can share without any overages when you get it on a Rogers Infinite plan. Get iPhone 11 on select 2-year Rogers Infinite plans for a limited time during the Wrapped in Red event on now at Rogers.
The 680 News Insider Club. It pays to belong.
This week, you could win a $250 gift card to spend at Linen Chest. Shop from bath, bedding, decor, and more. The Linen Chest is your one-stop shop for all home essentials. Now with more than 10,000 gift ideas for the holiday season. With 6 stores in the GTA, you aren't too far away from style and comfort you'll love.
Visit 680news.com for your chance to win and to sign up for the Insider Club.
The Energy Minister doubling down one day after the story broke that he's been quoting a climate change denial website.
A website that has called climate science dishonest, has said that global warming has nothing to do with pollution. Would the minister clarify his position to the House?
As a well-studied person, I take every opportunity, whether it's on the internet or sources of literature, to consider different points of view, Mr. Speaker.
As you heard there, the Energy Minister refusing to back down in the legislature after being called out for using a climate change denial website to justify canceling wind turbines. This new segment was brought to you by Alpine Credits, and in 60 seconds, the business report for Richard Sutter.
680 News Time 9:25.
Hello, Alpine Credits.
You're the guys that say approved, right?
Yes, sir.
So I want to turn the backyard into a putting green, and my girlfriend did not approve. Could you?
We only approve homeowners for loans, for renovations, consolidating debts, that type of thing.
Well, maybe if I got a loan to do it.
Very nice.
At Alpine Credits, we try to approve all home equity loan applications, regardless of your credit, age, or income. Find out more at alpinecredits.ca. Alpine Credits. Homeowners get approved. Fiscal license 12616.
It's that time of year again. Black Friday. A small amount of time to get big deals on stuff you want. Like our best-selling SUV, the Ford Escape. Your Ford store has you covered. Right now, get up to $5,500 in Black Friday rebates on select new 2019 Escape models. Plus, no extra charge winter tires, rims, and sensors. But like most Black Friday deals, it's only on for a limited time. Black Friday at Ford ends November 27th. Visit your local Ford store or Ford.ca.
680 News Time 9:26.
Time for the 680 News Business Report. For that, we go to the Business Center and Richard Sutter.
Good evening. Toronto is going high-tech all right. The city has added 80,000 tech jobs over the past 5 years, giving Toronto the title of the top tech spot for employment in Canada. This is according to a survey from CBRE. Toronto home to just over 225,000 tech jobs, which makes up 8.3% of total employment. So certainly a lot of room for growth there. Toronto's tech industry dominated by men. 76% is male, only 26% women. So also room for improvement on that metric. The report, though, also showed some smaller cities are starting to gain ground in tech jobs. Ottawa, Vancouver, Waterloo, Montreal rounded up the top 5 list. Of course, Ottawa home to Shopify, providing a lot of great tech jobs there. Well, investors, they were buying stocks today. We saw more record highs for both the Toronto and New York stock markets. However, RBC sees stock turbulence ahead. The bank's head of U.S. equity strategy predicted that the S&P will finish next year at about 3,350, which would be only 7% higher than where it is now. RBC says it expects 2020 to be a year of moderation and turbulence. It says the risk of a pullback in the near term is high. If not at the end of this year, then in the first quarter of next. The TSX today was up 64 points, 0.3% to 17,100. We're up 19.3% on the year now. The Dow up 42 points, 28,164. S&P gaining 13 to a record 3153, and the Nasdaq up 57. Why were traders in such a good mood? Well, the U.S. Economic performance was revised higher. U.S. third quarter GDP revised up to 2.1%. Price of gold down $1,460. The loonie at 75.3 cents U.S. Top stories next on 680 News.
Looking to sell your home? I'm Scott McGilvery. I've worked in Toronto for years, and I know that your home needs the best marketing to create the most demand. Contact Frank Leo and Associates at RE/MAX West and start packing. Go to getleo.com today.
Oh, aren't you fed up with most stores turning Black Friday into Black Friday? You know, lame deals on stuff you don't want. That's why Gomez is hosting a non-whack Black Friday.
On what? That was correct. That is what they're fucking saying. I thought I was high when I was thinking back on that. No, they really fucking said that shit.
Finally, a non-whack Black Friday. Only at Gomez. Visit Gomez.com for details.
Hey Toronto, Scott McGilvery here. Need to sell your home on time? Frank Leo and Associates of RE/MAX West spends millions of dollars in marketing to sell on your deadline at a price you agree to, or he will buy it. Go to getleo.com and start packing.
It's time for the 680 News Business Travelers Forecast, brought to you by Park and Fly. Start and end your trip at Park and Fly Valet, the quickest way to park by the airport. Join Park and Fly's rewards program, where you can turn your paid parking into free parking. Visit parkandfly.ca for details.
Make it cheaper.
If your travel's taking to Vancouver, we're all clear in 1 degree. I'll meet you there. In St. John's, overcast and 2 degrees. It's Chicago, overcast and 2. Miami, clear and 24. Washington, D.C., mostly cloudy and 6. This is CFTR 680 News. It's 9:30.
Number 1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Here are Scott Burnett and Caitlin Lee.
Good evening. It's Wednesday, November 27th.
Here's what's making news this hour. Every single streetcar on Queen Street is out of service.
They're being replaced by buses for the foreseeable future.
The TTC says something on the rails is damaging the brakes.
With dozens of university students on hand, the man accused of dumping feces on people in 3 separate incidents makes his first court appearance.
More than 31 million people expected to travel for U.S. Thanksgiving. The 2 major storms are wreaking havoc stateside during the busiest travel days of the year.
Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland says they're working to push the new NAFTA across the finish line, but nothing to announce yet after high-level talks in Washington.
The Maple Leafs up big in Detroit, while the Raptors up big at home against the Knicks. Sports at 45.
Twitter quickly backing off a plan to delete old accounts after a major outrage. We'll let you know about what. TSX, Dow, S&P, NASDAQ, all hit records. Again, business at 56.
9:31.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here is Kyle Hawking.
This report brought to you by Viva Next. We've got a very smooth drive if you're traveling the highways right now. I'm not seeing many delays. In fact, hardly any delays. We've got a bit of volume if you're traveling out of downtown north on the Don Valley Parkway. Lawrence up to York Mills, pretty minor slowdown there, so not a whole lot to worry about. The rest of the highways really not bad. Southbound DVP is fine, and the east and west Gardner is moving along fairly well. A bit of volume on the eastbound 407 as well from Yonge to Bayview. 3 left lanes are blocked for construction, so a bit of minor volume there. As well, a couple of ramp closures you'll want to know about. The eastbound 407 ramp to Jane is closed, and the southbound Dufferin ramp to the eastbound 407 off limits. Both of those closures for construction. As well, the southbound Dufferin ramp to the westbound 407 is closed. And one more to tell you about, it's on the QEW. The West Mall ramp to the westbound QEW shut down, all because of construction. It's the season of giving in Vaughan, and your local shops and businesses can help you find what you're looking for. Stop, shop, and dine on Highway 7 West and Bathurst and Center Streets. Visit vivanext.com. Your next report at 9:41, and with the forecast, here's Carl Lamb.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the last double-digit temperature day for a while, because we are cooling down to an overnight low of 3, and we have mostly cloudy skies. A few isolated showers have been popping up across the GTA, most notably in the east end, but those will fizzle out as we head toward the evening. But those winds still strong, between 20 to 40 kilometers per hour, gusting to 60. Those will slowly ease a little bit overnight, but changing direction to bring in even cooler air
outside. They all
from
gotta
the
have like
northwest
windbreakers and
for
umbrellas.
tomorrow's high early 3 degrees and afternoon temperature of 0. Right now it's 5 at Pearson, 6 at 680 News. Tonight's overnight low +3.
680 News time 9:33.
Your streetcar commute along Queen Street just became more of a pain. Something along the tracks apparently damaging the cars. It could take some time to find the culprit.
As 680's Mark Douglas tells us, while the TTC works on finding the answer, streetcars along North America's busiest route will be replaced with buses.
Every single streetcar has been taken out of service on Queen Street. Something, somewhere on the rails, is damaging the brakes. Stuart Green from the TTC says this affects the 501, 501L, and the 508.
Those 3 routes are suspended for streetcar service. They're being replaced by buses for the foreseeable future.
Replacing streetcars with buses, especially during rush hour, is a bit worrisome for Queen Street commuters.
100%. It's not the most convenient thing to happen, especially in this weather right now.
Extra streetcars have been brought in on King Street to help. The TTC is now checking every foot of track from one end of Queen to the other. It's the longest streetcar route in the world on Queen Street beside the Eden Center. I'm Mark Douglas.
Well, the recent fears of U of T students may have been alleviated today, rather, after many attended the brief court hearing of a 23-year-old man accused of throwing feces at people. 680's Momin Qureshi had more from the old City Hall courthouse.
More than 70 people are here for this hearing, most of them U of T students like Michael, who felt the need to be here.
I was reading about it online where they were talking about the court hearings today, and like they were saying, like, if anyone is going, please just to let us know what happens and stuff, tell us what happened. So in a way, I did think of myself as representing U of T in a way.
23-year-old Samuel Okopu entering the courtroom wearing a blue denim shirt with the top couple of buttons undone and gray pants. He sits in the holding box with his head hanging low. His lawyer, Jordan Wise, says his client understands what's going on, is fit to go through this process, and deserves the presumption of innocence.
Shocked by the allegations and overwhelmed by the intense scrutiny that this is attracted.
At Old City Hall, I'm Momin Qureshi.
Here in the GTA, the up and down weather ride we've been on for the last few weeks is about to take another dip, while south of the border, winter weather is making for less than ideal Thanksgiving travel. 680's Michelle Mackey on the Weather Watch.
More than 4,500 flight delays and 150 cancellations reported in the U.S., while 32 states are under weather advisories. This thanks to a major storm in the west and one in the east. Bad timing for travelers. According to Airlines for America, a record 31.6 million people expected to travel by air over the Thanksgiving holiday, while AAA says nearly 50 million people will be on the roads. Rain, snow, and wind will impact a wide swath of the country. 680 meteorologist Carl Lamb says one of those storms could bring snow to the GTA Sunday.
It looks like we could see about 5 to 10 centimeters. Some models are suggesting maybe even 15 centimeters.
And Sunday will be the single busiest travel day of the year. Keep an eye on the status of your flight. I'm Michelle Mackey.
We have an update now on a hit and run last week that sent an 84-year-old man to hospital. It happened Friday night at St. Clair Avenue West and Christie Street. Toronto police now say the victim has died of his injuries in hospital. Investigators are looking for a blue SUV that struck the man. Anyone with information is asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers.
Gas prices can make or break your day, and over the next 10 years, you'll likely need to take a deep breath before filling up. Nigel Newlove of City News takes a look.
A 40-cent gas price hike over the next 10 years. It's one of the recommendations from a new report on fighting climate change. The report finds that hiking Canada's carbon tax is the easiest and cheapest way of reaching our 2030 carbon targets.
Give me your real policies. Bring them on. We'll compare them. That's what we did. And the one that is the least costly for the Canadian economy, by far, is carbon pricing.
The report, which has been 5 years in the making, was released by Canada's Eco-Fiscal Commission, which was given the task to come up with ways to address climate change without killing the economy. It found that hiking the cost of a litre of gas by 4.4 cents per litre every year is the cheapest way of meeting our emissions target. In Ottawa, Nigel Newlove, City News.
No
We'll
deal
just have
yet
to work
finally
more to
give
make that
official
money. We're
approval
found
to the new NAFTA. This after Canada's deputy
They're not
prime
Canadians,
minister quickly made her way to Washington for a hastily arranged high-level meeting on the trade pact. Here's 680's Parliament Hill reporter Cormac McSweeney.
While there's still no major announcement about the stalled ratification process, Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland left the talks feeling good.
Glad to be here, to be working with our American and Mexican colleagues to get the new NAFTA across the finish line.
Speaking on the CBC, Freeland calls it a good meeting for Canada, but won't say what's being discussed at the table or how close they may be to a breakthrough. The White House has been negotiating for months with Democrats who have been pushing for new labor provisions, but now Canada and Mexico have been brought into the mix. If progress isn't made soon, the ratification could get lost in impeachment proceedings and next year's presidential election. All three countries need to ratify the deal before it's in force, but so far only Mexico has given approval. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
You're with All News Radio. 680 News Education Minister Stephen Lecce naming the two people he wants to conduct a formal review of racism complaints at the Peel District School Board. Susan Herbert led a similar review at the York Public Board 2 years ago. She'll be joined by human rights lawyer and investigator Anna Chadha. The review is intended to address complaints about equity, including anti-Black racism and serious issues related to leadership and human resources practices in the board. The reviewers will work closely with the board with an interim report due by the end of the year. The Ministry of Education has received several complaints from parents, community members, and fellow trustees after Trustee Will Davies called McCrimmon Middle School McCriminal when he was talking privately with other trustees.
In 30 seconds, we'll check gas prices.
680 News Time, 9:39.
Motherfuckers. All the ones I'm reading are the same ones they're saying. So let's see what there's like two more I'm waiting for them to come out with it. I have to get high to listen to this shit. I can't listen to this all day and then go get high. I gotta get high before I turn the fucking radio on.
9 cents a liter at most GTA stations. Traffic and weather in 1 minute.
680 News Time at 9:40.
This fall, 680 News is proud to support Movember.
The leading global charity committed to changing the face of men's health.
In Canada, 75% of suicides are men. Maybe you should hear this story. As a dispatcher in Toronto, David has taken many calls from men who have struggled with their mental health. One night, someone had been found unconscious, not breathing. As he listened to the coroner read off the name, they realized a member of their own team was the very man who had taken his own life. From that moment on, David committed to learning more and encouraged his friends and colleagues to become advocates. This month, David is encouraging men across Canada to speak out when things don't feel quite right. Together, we can help fight prostate cancer.
What's it got to do with suicide? Not making no sense to me.
The men in our lives. Whatever you grow, we'll save a bro. So donate today at Movember.com. Help change the face of men's health. That's Movember.com.
It's time 9:41.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Kyle Hawking.
This report is brought to you by Best Buy. It's a pretty quiet drive right now if you're traveling the major routes. We've got just a little bit of volume on the Don Valley Parkway northbounds. Building once again from Eglinton up to York Mills. No problems, but just a bit slow. Not a major delay. We'll be just a little under the speed limit heading for the 401. No problems on the southbound DVP, both the east and westbound Gardner up to speed. The rest of your concerns will all be construction related, and there's really not a whole lot of it going on. On the westbound 401, just west of Holt Road, crews are in the process of closing 2 left lanes for construction, so only the right lane will be getting through shortly as they put the cones down. Then I'll let you know about some ramp closures. Some on the 407, eastbound 407 ramp to Jane closed, and the southbound Dufferin ramp to the eastbound 407 is also shut down for construction. Same with the westbound side. Southbound Dufferin ramp to the westbound 407 is also off limits for the maintenance work that's going on. And the only other ramp closure, full closure, is the West Mall ramp to the westbound QEW, closed because of construction going on just west of the 427 on the highway there. Holiday excitement starts at Best Buy with the Black Friday sale. Score amazing tech at door crasher prices. Starts online Thursday at 9 p.m. at Best Buy. Your next report at 9:51. And with the forecast, here's Carl Lamb.
Still windy across the GTA. We're going to hang on to the wind, but the temperatures are also dropping as well. So it feels like a double whammy as we have temperatures headed down to 3 tonight, and that's where we start the day tomorrow, and we'll head down to 0 for an afternoon temperature. And that wind tonight will be gusting to about 40 to 60 kilometers per hour. Shift direction, and that's what we have tomorrow, and that's a northwesterly wind. So during the day, in the afternoon, when we're at 0, it will feel like -6. And then for Friday, lighter winds, so our air temperature of 0 with mainly sunny skies will feel like -4 during the afternoon. Right now it's 5 at Pearson, 6 in downtown Toronto. Tonight's overnight low +3.
680 News Time, 9:43.
Former Environment Minister Glenn Murray says carbon taxes will take too long to work given how quickly the planet is warming. Murray says Canada must shift its focus to massive government interventions to overhaul Canada's transportation systems and buildings. A new report says carbon pricing is the most cost-effective way for the country to hit its current targets of reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Murray suggests Canada has spent the better part of the last decade mired in political fights over whether carbon taxes or cap-and-trade systems are acceptable, and we've now run out of time. In 60 seconds, we'll have your day's headlines.
680 News Time, 9:44.
What does your dream home look like? Hi, I'm Jeannie Becker, and for over 50 years, Georgian Renovations has been designing spaces you'll love. We know how hard it is making a decision to renovate. So for a limited time only, we're offering our interior design services for the incredible value of $5,000. Let your vision come to life before you decide on your renovation, and buy with confidence, knowing exactly what your dream home will look like. Schedule your design consultation today at GeorgianReno.com.
Here's 4 holiday carolers working in unison to demonstrate Subaru's symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Nice. Now here's what that sounds like if it wasn't full-time. Again, full-time all-wheel drive. Not full-time all-wheel drive. And in a Canadian winter, that doesn't sound right. Visit your Subaru dealer for a $500 holiday bonus at the My Subaru Gave to Me holiday event.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
It's partly cloudy and 6 degrees. Good evening from the 680 News Broadcast Center in downtown Toronto. I'm Caitlin Lee.
I'm Scott Burnett. Here are the top stories this hour.
Streetcars on Queen Street have been replaced with buses
bigger
tonight as the
stories
city
than that,
examines every inch of the track to find out what's been causing damage along the rails. Commuters worried since streetcars are already packed during rush hour. The TTC says it plans to deal with the overflow until they figure out what the problem is. An unusually large crowd at the court hearing for a man accused of throwing a bucket of feces on people.
Ultimately, I did want to see what this man had to say for himself.
Many university students say they've had a tense week of looking over their shoulders. A two-storm stateside wreaking havoc for American Thanksgiving. It brought the stormy weather to us today, and the winds in New York City could potentially ground the giant balloons in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Wow.
Now time for 680 Sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Here is George Russick.
Kalen, the Maple Leafs hammer the Red Wings in Detroit.
Mikheyev standing on it first and then sent it wide of the goal. Mikheyev with it again. Nice pass back to the point. Dermott looks for an avenue. They score! It was stopped in front of the net. The rebound was trickling wide of the goal. It is a Tavares maybe off his skate that goes into the net. But it's 1-0 Toronto. And don't look now, but the Leafs have scored the first goal of the hockey game.
Yeah, just 1:04 in. In fact, Travis Dermott got the goal. Maple Leafs never looked back in a 6-0 beatdown of the Red Wings. Andreas Janssen scored a pair for the Maple Leafs, who also got goals from Tyson Barrie, John Tavares, and William Nylander. Frederik Andersen made 25 saves in goal. for the shutout. The Raptors wrapping up a big win over the Knicks down at Scotiabank. They're up 123-92, a buck 15 to go. Pascal Siakam leading the way with 31 points, while Fred VanVleet and Terrence Davis each with 15. You can hear the conclusion of this game live right now on Sportsnet 590, the Fan Leafs Nation post game, by the way, after the final horn over on Sportsnet 590, the Fan, after the Raptors and Knicks are done. And the Calgary Flames picked up a 3-2 overtime win over the Sabres without head coach Bill Peters, who was obviously not behind the bench with all the controversy swirling around him with his racial remarks. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour. We're on radio and TV. Sportsnet 590, the Fan.
Which 947.
Which
At Amazon.ca this holiday, our Black Friday sale has new deals all day. There'll be more, and more. Woohoo! I love it all! Amazon.ca's Black Friday sale, delivering all you need for less. November 28th through 29th.
Have we met? I'm Christopher Lina, General Manager, Lexus Downtown, and I'd like to personally invite you to our 3-day Black Friday event. It's this Thursday through Saturday, and it's a rare opportunity for you to experience a Lexus for as low as 0.9%, or purchase at this event and receive cash incentives up to $8,000. I'd love to meet you. Visit LexusDowntown.ca for details. Part of the Downtown Auto Group. You are what drives us.
680 News Time, 948.
Well, showering is a part of most people's daily routine that they enjoy, but for one university student, that's not the case. According to the Daily Mail, 21-year-old Tessa Hanson-Smith is allergic to water. She breaks out in a painful rash whenever she cries, sweats, or showers. Her allergy means she cannot play sports and needs to be shuttled around her university campus to prevent sweating. The condition thought to affect fewer than 100 people worldwide. New research suggests about 90% of the world's population will suffer poorer harvests and smaller fisheries if greenhouse gas emissions are not drastically cut. Most of those people are in the world's poorest countries. Liam Chung of the University of British Columbia, who co-authored the research report, says rich countries that produce most of the emissions have an obligation to act.
The emissions on those countries from us are the biggest, and our ability to tackle the climate problem is also supposed to be the biggest. So I think we are lagging behind in terms of these moral obligations to actually take action against this climate problem.
Chung says Canada is one of the very few countries in the world expected to average larger harvests and bigger fisheries by the year 2100 if current climate measures remain unchanged.
Then why are we taxing carbon?
Extended forecast.
680 News Time, 950.
I have your coffee. What's wrong? I'm just stressed. I have to move 200 people to the 4th floor. Call by Design. I have to find moving bins, install workstations, old furniture removal. Call by Design. Find an IT team, storage, and hang pictures. Call by Design. They do everything. Everything? Well, everything except getting your people to stop popping the bubble wrap.
By Design Commercial Moving Solutions. We move small offices to large warehouses and everything in between. When you look good, it's by Design. Contact us at bydesignofficemovers.com.
Tanya likes to avoid risks. She's never made a souffle for fear that it won't rise. She won't text her friends because they might not text her back. But she does like investing with HSBC's new GIC offer because there's no risk at all. It's guaranteed to give her 2.15% interest over 12 months. A year from now, she'll spend her returns on some neutral colored furniture. Get 2.15% per annum on a 12-month non-redeemable GIC until December 31st, 2019. Terms apply. Learn more at hsbc.ca/GIC.
680 News Time, 951.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Kyle Hawking.
This report brought to you by Sisley Honda. We've got a new minor issue on the eastbound 401 east of Victoria Park in the Express. Cruiser blocking the right lane. Stalled vehicle on the shoulder, just being worked on by a tow. OPP is also there along with the MTO. No major delays through there. In fact, it doesn't even look like there's a minor delay. It's moving pretty well along the East 401 and the West 401. No problems westbound. We We do have some minor volume on the DVP northbound if you're living downtown, approaching Eglinton up to York Mills. Bit slow through there, but no problems. You'll be up into the 401 in no time. And we've got pretty smooth drive south. DVP and the east and west guard are both moving up to speed. Ramp closures affecting the 407. The eastbound 407 ramp to Jean is closed, and the southbound Dufferin ramp to the east 407 also shut down for overnight construction. As well, the southbound Dufferin ramp to the westbound 407 is closed for roadwork too. And we've got one more on the QEW. It's the West Mall ramp to the westbound QEW that's been closed for construction as well. Sisley for Honda wants your family to love your car. Drop by 88 Steeles Avenue, just west of Young. Sisley Honda, they're family driven. Your next report at 10:01, and with the forecast, here's Carl Lamb.
Seems like an odd night for construction given all these winds, but we'll take it. It's going to be quite windy. Those southwest winds gusting up to 60 kilometers per hour at times, but those sustained winds are between 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. Mostly cloudy tonight, down to 3 degrees. And then tomorrow's high, 3 degrees. And then we slide to 0 during the afternoon, and we'll have cloudy conditions. A few morning rain showers are possible, and a northwest wind that will make things feel colder than it actually is. So during the afternoon, when it's 0, it will feel like -6. For Friday, sunny and 0 will be the high. -2 with clouds on Saturday. And then Sunday, that's when the next Colorado low moves in. And that's the thing that we're keeping our eye on, because this could bring ice pellets to start and wet snow with possible accumulation and a high of 2. Right now it's 5 at Pearson, 6 at 680 News. Tonight's overnight low +3.
680 News Time, 9:53. This extended forecast is brought to you by Liebherr Refrigeration. Save 15% on all Liebherr fridges, including industry-leading Monolith, during the 15% a la carte sale ending December 31st. Visit ela.ca for details.
Celebrate the holiday magic this December at Casa Loma during a Nutcracker Christmas at the Castle. Enjoy a host of exciting family activities and performances, including illusionist Professor Wick, Police on Ice, plus visit Santa's workshop for your photo with Santa and more. The Castle will be dazzling with festive decor and a 40-foot signature tree. And from December 15th to 30th, you can also explore Casa Loma by night as you wander through the lighting display in the gardens. Info and tickets at casaloma.ca.
This holiday season, everyone has what it takes to be a holiday hero.
Join 680 News in supporting more than 4,000 local families with the York Regional Police Holiday Heroes Toy Drive.
Donate toys, food, or gift cards at any York Regional Police facility to support families and children of victim services and the Salvation Army within our community.
York Regional Police, 680 News, and families in need, thank you for your support.
For details or to donate monetarily, visit 680news.com/holiday heroes.
Thank you. A new study finds most Canadians say slow down when it comes to hearing holiday music before December 1st. A music licensing company surveyed more than 1,500 Canadians and found just over half only want to hear holiday music in December. But once the calendar flips to December, nearly a third say they stay longer in store because of the music being played. Only 13% said they dislike all holiday music. In 60 seconds, we'll check in at the Business Center with Richard Southern.
680 News Time, 9:55.
Toronto's Sexiest Party is coming back. Yes! The Everything to Do with Sex show. Yes, it's an adult show about sex. For your sweetheart, your friend, or come alone. The Everything to Do with Sex show has something for everyone. It's fully licensed, so grab a drink, walk around, and enjoy non-stop stage entertainment, shopping, informative seminars, and demonstrations. Migrate Yams presents the Everything to Do with Sex show on this weekend at the International Center near Pearson. Visit tabooshows.com. Black Friday 101 from Sleep Country. How do you hype a Black Friday sale?
One up the competition.
But what if they have amazing deals?
Then we offer amazing
deals. Sleep Country's Black Friday sale is finally here. Friday only, stores open at 8 a.m. And you'll also save the equivalent of the tax until noon. Plus, get any size essential sheet sets for just $39. And a Hot by Queen mattress for only $2.99. Shop online or in store. But hurry, these prices end soon. Sleep Country, all for sleep.
680 News Time, 9:56.
Now, time for your business report. Here is Richard Southern.
Good evening. Twitter is sending out emails to owners of inactive accounts warning them sign in by December 11th.
or your account's gone. Your username will be up for grabs. That, though, sparked big outrage from friends and family who worried that the accounts that belong to their deceased loved ones may disappear. And so Twitter was quick to act. It delayed this process until it says it can implement a way to properly memorialize those accounts. So more corporate news, Boeing, world's largest plane maker, facing more trouble than just with its 737 MAX. It was revealed today that the fuselage of its upcoming 777X aircraft split in two during a high-pressure test back in September. There have also been issues with the new GE engines used to power that jet. The 777X due to fly for the first time next year. Deliveries to airlines set for 2021. Boeing stock fell 1.5%. Well, new documents show that U.S. President Trump kept 2 sets of books for his biggest property in Manhattan, the Trump Tower. The documents obtained through a Freedom of Information request from ProPublica show the occupancy rate in information provided to lenders was different than that provided to tax authorities. In the year 2012, Trump's business told lenders that the occupancy rate was 99% at Trump Tower. It told the tax man it was in fact 83%. In that same year, Trump secured a $100 million loan by refinancing Trump Tower, something the figure to lenders may have held secure. On the markets, more records today. The TSX up 64 points, 17,100 all-time closing high. Bay Street's up 19 1/3% on the year. Solid U.S. economic news boosting Wall Street. The Dow was up 42 points to 28,164. S&P gained 13, and the Nasdaq up 57. Price of gold lower to $1,460, and the loonie at 75.25 cents U.S. This is 680 News.
Holiday excitement starts at Best Buy with our Black Friday sale, starting online this Thursday at 9 p.m. Score amazing tech at door crasher prices and expect incredible savings all week long. Don't miss the Black Friday sale at Best Buy. Thanks for calling 1-800-GOT-JUNK. This is Sarah. How can I help?
You know why they call it Black Friday, don't you?
No. Why do they call it Black Friday?
Because you're about to go out and buy a whole bunch of new things, and there's no place to put them because the house is already stacked around.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
I know. Why do you think I'm calling?
We're on our way.
Black Friday, here I come.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com. Holiday excitement starts at Best Buy with our Black Friday sale, starting online this Thursday at 9 p.m. Score amazing tech at door crasher prices and expect incredible savings all week long. Don't miss the Black Friday sale at Best Buy.
Now, 680 News regional weather conditions for kidneycar.ca.
Arrested a bunch of
Democrats to help
passengers.
support life-changing medical research. Don't let it sit in your driveway forever. Your car has a higher calling. Donate at kidneycar.ca.
In Brampton, 5 degrees, partly cloudy. Downtown Toronto, 6 and partly cloudy. It's 5 at Pearson Airport. 680 News Time, 10 o'clock.
Number 1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News, Toronto.
Here are Scott Burnett and Caitlin Lee.
Good evening. This is Wednesday, November 27th.
Here's what's making news this hour.
Every single streetcar on Queen Street is being taken out of service for the foreseeable future and replaced with buses. Something on the tracks somewhere is damaging the streetcar brakes.
Twin storms trigger travel chaos
my God, I just
stateside,
gotta
and
hear
it's
what they
bad
end up fucking
timing. A
discovering.
record high number of jet setters expected
It's
this
gonna be
U.S.
funny, I know.
Thanksgiving.
Pushing the new NAFTA across the finish line. Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland leaves high-level talks in Washington feeling good, but keeping tight-lipped about the discussions.
And Mayor John Tory kicking off the city's holiday toy drive at City Hall today with a special need this year for toys and clothing for kids 10 and up.
The Maple Leafs crushed the Red Wings in Detroit while the Raptors pound the Knicks at Scotiabank. Sports at 15.
The battle to take Canada's oldest retailer private heating up. We're looking at how the Bay can survive. Market survived well, hitting record highs again. Business at 26.
680 News Time, 10:01.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones at the traffic center. You know them, you love them. Craig Gears.
Oh, thank you so much, Scott and Caitlin. This report brought to you by Central. So we
bitch
had a
about the
problem on the
construction. I
eastbound
wanna hear
401. It was east of Victoria Park and the Express. It's all cleared away now. Just a bunch of construction out there on the eastbound 401. Everything's pretty much up to speed. Just through Weston and the collectors crews have the right lane blocked off. And then east of the 400, the transfer into the collectors
collectors, you'll find them working in the right lane on the transfer lanes. The ramp to Kiel also, it is open, but crews have that right lane on the ramp to Kiel blocked off of the eastbound 401. And at Leslie and the collectors, they're working in the 2 right lanes. Sometimes this does cause some problems, but everything seems to be up to speed tonight, so that's really great news. On the westbound 401, a slight delay through the construction just west of Holt Road. They've got the 2 left lanes blocked off right now, so just a single right lane getting by through here. And then you don't see anybody working until Nielsen in the collectors. They're also through Brimley.
You don't see any construction, you don't see anybody working.
And the 410 in the express. We've installed a vehicle in the northbound DVP. It's just north of Eglinton. It's gone now. I'm just taking a look. It's gone. It was north of Eglinton off to the left shoulder. Wasn't causing an issue anyway, but we are looking at volume traveling northbound DVP from approaching Eglinton up to York Mills. Located within Toronto's tech hub featuring high-tech residential amenities, Central is the latest tech development by Concord. Register now at centraltoronto.com. Your next report is at 10:11, and let's see what's going on out there right now and check the forecast with Carl Lamb.
Thanks, Craig. And the wind is blowing outside. It's quite noticeable, as many are noticing if they're stepping outside or just headed home. And those winds are going to continue through the evening. They are sustained between 20 to 40 kilometers per hour, gusting to 60 occasionally. Those gusts have backed off ever so slightly, but as we head into the overnight, the winds shift to the northwest, and that could present some flooding concerns for areas in the Niagara region, including Port Colborne, Fort Erie, and areas right along the lake there. And those gusty northwest winds are going to take our overnight low of 3, make that tomorrow's high, and we'll have an afternoon temperature tomorrow of 0. Right now, it's 5 at Pearson, 6 in downtown Toronto. Tonight's overnight low +3.
680 news time, 10:03.
A familiar sound missing from Queen Street tonight. And for the foreseeable future as well, streetcars have been pulled on one of the busiest routes in North America as TTC crews work to find a problem that's been damaging their brakes.
We said it was the longest.
680's Mark Douglas explains.
Every Queen Street streetcar is out of service for the foreseeable future and replaced with a bus. TTC spokesperson Stuart Breen says something on the
you got to replace the streetcar with 2 buses.
The entire length of Queen Street is damaging the streetcar brakes.
So the streetcars are driving along normally and striking something that may be an elevated piece of concrete or rail that is hitting this low-hanging part of the wheel system.
It's already damaged the brakes on 7 streetcars. This Queen Street passenger is worried about crowding on the replacement buses.
There could be like overload with passengers and stuff like that. It's going to be more crowded definitely than the streetcar.
The transit agency has 5 teams going over every foot of the rails along.
Remember, you can't drive in a straight line on King Street anymore.
Problem. On Queen Street beside the Eaton Center, I'm Mark Douglas.
A 23-year-old accused of carrying out 3 disgusting acts at universities in the last week, making a brief court appearance today. 680's Momin Qureshi was there.
Dozens of U of T students are part of the unusually large crowd that has turned out for this hearing. People like first-year student Linja tell me knowing that someone was out there dumping feces on unsuspecting people was stressful.
I was just really paranoid. When I was walking around campus, I would just constantly be looking at my surroundings just in case.
What she did see is 23-year-old Samuel Okopu walking into the courtroom wearing a blue denim shirt with the top couple of buttons undone and gray pants, keeping his head down so low the entire hearing. From the back, all you could see were his shoulders. His lawyer, Jordan Wise, believes his client is fit to go through this process, but deserves a fair shake.
Presumption of innocence ought to be respected because they are vile allegations.
At Old City Hall, I'm Momin Qureshi.
680 news time, 10:05. We had a wet and windy day in the GTA. We can blame a pair of storms hitting the U.S. just in time for American Thanksgiving. 680's Michelle Mackey has the details.
We saw special weather statements and wind warnings for parts of southern Ontario, but 680 meteorologist Carl Lamb says wind direction will be the bigger story for the end of the week.
We are going to have those winds shift from the southwest all the way to the northwest, and when that happens, that means cooler air is moving into our region.
This storm and a second one affecting the western U.S. have been causing travel chaos for American Thanksgiving. Bad timing during the busiest travel days of the year. Sunday is expected to be the single busiest travel day ever for the U.S. airline industry, with 3.1 million passengers expected, according to Airlines for America. By Sunday, the eastern half of the country will still be dealing with wicked weather, so more flight
Airlines
delays
for
are
America.
possible. I'm Michelle Mackey.
680 News
Is it like
Time,
Air
10:06.
America
This
and
news
American
segment brought to you
Airlines?
by the Monitoring Center Home Security. Well, we have breaking news from out west. Calgary Flames head coach Bill Peters issuing a statement tonight on the allegations of racism made against him, and he is owning up to it. 680's Jared Launchbury reports.
Peters starting off with an apology to the Flames organization for the offensive language he used a decade ago. He then goes on to admit to what he's been accused of. Peters saying, quote, "The statement was made in a moment of frustration and does not reflect my personal values." He adds he was called out for his use of language and immediately returned to the dressing room to apologize to the team. He says he regretted the incident since it happened before issuing another apology to anyone negatively affected by his words. Former player Akeem Aliu accused Peters of directing the N-word at him over his music choice in a locker room a decade ago.
I don't think that was about your music, buddy.
There's a big push underway in Washington to finally ratify the new NAFTA, and Canada's Deputy Prime Minister took part in some high-level talks in the U.S. Capitol.
All three countries are looking for ways to push this trade pact towards final approval. And speaking on CBC, Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland is optimistic after sitting down with her American and Mexican counterparts.
From the Canadian perspective, was a good meeting. Good work is being done.
Freeland is keeping tight-lipped about what's being discussed at the table and won't set any timelines. The new NAFTA has been stalled in the U.S. as the Democrats have spent months negotiating with the White House to add new labor provisions aimed at Mexico. If they can't make progress now, U.S. ratification risks being swamped by the impeachment process and the upcoming presidential election. So far, Mexico is the only country to ratify the deal, while Canada's been moving in lockstep with the U.S. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
Toronto Fire Service volunteers now accepting donations for the city's annual holiday toy and food drive. Mayor John Tory celebrating the official kickoff by putting a board game, Torontopoly, in the bin at the City Hall Rotunda.
Because the real showing of the holiday spirit isn't about how much pleasure you have in your own home. It's partly about that, but it's really about what you can do to make sure other people have that sense of happiness in their own homes.
There is a desperate need this year for the basic necessities for boys and girls 10 years old and up. That includes everything from personal hygiene items, sweaters, toques, toys. Donations are also being accepted for the Daily Bread Food Bank at the same time. Those donations can be dropped off at City Hall, Metro Hall, or any Toronto fire station. Everything that comes in before noon, December 20th, will be under a tree for a child in need on Christmas morning, so you've got plenty of time. Coming up in 30 seconds, we'll see if the price of gas is making a move at midnight.
680 News Time, 10:09.
When you need to know now.
680news.com.
At the Monitoring Center, you don't need new equipment to be protected. TMC excels in converting your existing alarm system while saving you money. Our rates can't be beat, and our service is second to none. Call the Monitoring Center today. Let us show you how we can save you.
If it was me, these people would be on blast on the fucking radio. Oakville man facing charges after using hockey-related sites to lure kids. An Oakville, Ontario man is facing multiple charges in what police describe as a child exploitation investigation involving websites connected to hockey. Halton Regional Police did not provide a time frame for the alleged offenses, but say they received complaints from multiple parents in several jurisdictions. Police allege the 21-year-old man met children on online chat platforms geared towards hockey. They say he usually used the screen names Mick Hockey 123, Mick Hockey 1234, and Jared G. Police say they arrested the man on Wednesday. He's now facing 13 charges, including 3 counts of luring a child, invitation to sexual touching, and making child pornography. I don't know what to make of this one. Hamilton Good Samaritan shooter found not guilty. I'm going to read it, and if it don't make sense to you, I'm not repeating it because it sounds complicated. The man accused of shooting and killing a Good Samaritan in Hamilton has been found not guilty of second-degree murder. During the 3-week-long trial, 21-year-old Dale King admitted to shooting 19-year-old Yosef Al-Hasnawi in December of 2017, but claimed it was in self-defense. The victim, and this is where I get confused, was standing outside a mosque and shouted at King and his friend for accosting an older man. The jury had the option of finding King not guilty, guilty of second-degree murder, or guilty of manslaughter. This is not the end of the court proceedings involving Al Hasnawi's death. 2 paramedics who responded to the scene are going to trial early next year on charges they failed to provide the necessaries of life. See, I get confused. I followed this from when it happened. I still don't fucking get it. They're gonna do this one in a minute. I just know it, but they skipped it. But let's see, they'll probably say it anyway. Mother student charged in Hamilton High School parking lot fight. Hamilton police have charged a 38-year-old woman and a 17-year-old boy after a fight in a high school parking lot. They say the incident happened on Tuesday afternoon at St. Thomas More Catholic Secondary School. Police allege the woman, the mother of a student at the school, had come to the building carrying an expandable baton, which is like a prohibited weapon, and they usually get stolen from the police somehow. They allege the mother was upset about a previous altercation between her child and the other teen. Police say the mother got into a verbal fight with the teen who was allegedly holding a knife, but officers arrived before anyone was injured. Both the woman and the teen are charged with possession of a weapon for a dangerous purpose. I don't know, but that's the story.
Small about your business. For amazing pre-Black Friday deals, call 310-DEL or visit del.ca/radio. Your next report is at 10:21, and with the forecast, here's Carl Lamb. Temperatures are headed in a downward direction. We're going down to +3 tonight, mostly cloudy. Those winds still going to be very noticeable throughout the evening, sustained between 20 to 40 kilometers per hour at times. Those gusts could hit 60 kilometers per hour. Then tomorrow, the morning high is +3. We fall to 0 during the afternoon, cloudy with a few morning rain showers. We may even see a few breaks of sunshine by the late afternoon. That northwest wind, though, going to be very noticeable tomorrow with sustained winds between 25 to 40 kilometers per hour, the occasional gust to 60. And then for Friday, a mix of sun and cloud and a high of 0. Right now, 5 at Pearson, 6 at 680 News. Tonight's overnight low +3.
680 News Time, 10:13. It's almost December. You know what that means. Time for TV holiday specials, along with classics like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, A Charlie Brown Christmas, or It's a Wonderful Life. There are a number of new films coming out this year. Hallmark Channel will be airing the Christmas at Dollywood with Dolly Parton herself playing matchmaker. Others are working to be more inclusive during the holidays with Hanukkah shoutouts in Hallmark and Lifetime movies. In 60 seconds, we'll recap your top stories and the Leafs steamrolling through Detroit tonight. Details coming up.
680 News Time, 10:14.
We're 2 men and a truck. And we've got lots of men and lots of trucks. Whether you're planning to move to a new home.
I swear this is not the same story. Toronto Montessori student facing charges for alleged assault at school. What are you doing? Sex charges for alleged assault at school. Okay. Toronto police say a student at a city Montessori school is facing charges after an alleged sexual assault involving a fellow student. Constable Allison Douglas Cook offered few details about the alleged incident in a live Montessori and private school in the city's West End. I don't know where the fuck that is. She says it allegedly took place on school grounds on November 4th, but provided no details about the incident or the ages of the parties involved. She says a boy was arrested on Monday and charged with 1 count each of sexual assault and sexual assault causing bodily harm. He has been released from custody and is due to appear in youth court in January. A live Montessori did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Ontario government names leaders of inquiry into Peel District School Board. The Ontario government has named a former deputy minister and a human rights lawyer to lead a public review of a Toronto area school board facing allegations of racism. Education Minister Stephen Lecce says Suzanne Herbert and Ina Chadha will head up the review of the Peel District School Board, which serves students west of Toronto. He announced the review earlier this month, saying the board is facing allegations of anti-black racism and concerns that it is not following proper governance, leadership, and human resources practices. The board has previously said the review is taking place at its request. There should be an apostrophe there, buddy. Herbert served as a deputy minister with the Ontario Public Service from 1997 to 2008, while Chadha spent 8 years as vice chairwoman and adjudicator with the Human Rights Tribunal of Ontario. I'm not so sure I'm happy with those organizations, though. Herbert and Chadha have been asked to produce an interim report before the end of the year and complete the review by the winter of 2020. Peel region with allegations of racism. Really?
With the pair rounded out the scoring for the Maple Leafs, who improved to 3-0 under new head coach Sheldon Keefe. Pascal Siakam tied a career high with 5 3-pointers as he powered the Raptors to a big 126-98 win over the New York Knicks. Siakam had 31 points for the Raptors, who have now picked up 33 consecutive home wins against their division, which is an NBA record. The Raptors also improved to 8-0 for the first time in franchise history. Fred VanVleet also added 15 points and 4 assists with 3 rebounds for the now 13-4 Raptors. And the Calgary Flames picked up a 3-2 overtime win in Buffalo without head coach Bill Peters, who, of course, was not behind the bench after facing those the situation with the racist comments earlier on in his coaching career. Sports at 15 and 45. That's every hour. Tickets now on radio and TV. Sportsnet 590 The Fan. 680 news time, 10:17.
Bodon.net wants to show you how to make a play this basketball season. When everyone's got the favorite from LA, you're repping the underdog from the 6. When everyone says beating this team is impossible, you're all about going all in on possible. When all of social media says you've got no chance, you've already got the perfect tweet to prove them wrong. Even when the odds are stacked against you, you're already planning the postgame. Don't miss a chance to make a play at Bodon.net, your source of free casino games, poker strategy, and live basketball odds.
There are deals you should think twice about, like discounted eye surgery. There are deals you should think thrice about, like secondhand parachutes with free shipping. But then there are deals you should take advantage of as soon as you hear them. Like a 2019 Honda Civic Sedan Touring, on lease or finance from 0.99% APR for up to 48 months. Get a $500 Honda bonus during the Bring Home a Honda event. OACCHondaOntario.com. Bring Home a Honda. No thinking required.
Canada may be losing its peacekeeping reputation. UN figures show there were just 49 Canadian military and police officers deployed on peacekeeping operations at the end of September. That represents a steep decline from the previous month's total of 128 and is an historic low for the Great White North. Canada currently has the smallest number of members deployed with the UN since 1956. A leading expert on peacekeeping says Canada's failure to step up on peacekeeping will hurt its bid to win a Security Council seat next year. The U.S. government has separated thousands of families despite knowing it lacked the technology to document and track their whereabouts. Jackie Quinn from the Associated Press reports the problem resulted in some parents languishing in custody for weeks without knowing the location of their children.
More than 5,000 children were taken from their parents between July of 2017 and the following year. And a new report from the agency's watchdog says Border Patrol officials knew that they lacked the tracking technology needed months before those separations began. The report says the reunifications were chaotic because coordination was done by emails across 3 agencies instead of implementing a shared data system.
Most of those separations took place in the spring of 2018, although the U.S. Border Patrol conducted a pilot program the previous summer. Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and your extended forecast.
680 news time, 10:20.
Listen. No, seriously. Doesn't it feel good to just stop and listen? At Audible, we think everything is better when you listen. Join Audible now until December 6th, and new members get our special Cyber Week offer of 2 free audiobooks with your first 30 days free. After that, you'll choose 1 title every month from the world's largest selection of audiobooks. Join Audible now with our Cyber Week offer at audible.ca. Everything is better when you listen.
Hello, Alpine Credits.
Hi, I own my home. I need money for approved.
Wait, that was mine.
Approved.
Hey!
Approved.
You own your home, so you are
approved.
Please stop.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just
approved.
You got me. So I'm
approved.
At Alpine Credits, we try to approve all home equity loan applications, regardless of your credit, age, or income. Find out more at alpinecredits.ca. Alpine Credits. Homeowners get approved. Fiscal license 12616 and 12617. 680 Gears time, 10:21.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones at the traffic center. Craig Gears.
This report brought to you by Clienta Research. A bunch of delays now. Westbound 401 through the construction west of Hope. Just a single right lane for you to use here, and it's a touch slow. It's really not too bad, but it is there. Then approaching McCowan, the transfer from the collectors into the express. We have crews working in here, so that transfer is closed, and it was a touch slow, but it's really not bad. Where it does start to get a little not so great on the westbound 401 is through the construction through Kiel in the collectors. Down looks like single lane.
Fourth person arrested in connection with human trafficking investigation. We got photos of all these dudes too. The fourth person has been arrested and charged in connection with a human trafficking investigation involving a teenage girl. It is alleged that on December 30th, 2018, a 17-year-old girl met two men in the Yonge Street and Dundas Street East area. The two men allegedly befriended the girl, gave her drugs and alcohol, and then took her to Hamilton where they sexually assaulted her. The girl was then allegedly sexually assaulted by a third man. So remember that, first man, second man, third man. The men then allegedly introduced the girl to a woman, and she was then forced into the sex trade. Photos of the girl were taken at various stages of undress and were then posted online, advertising her sexual services. It's alleged that the first man controlled all the communications with the customers via text messages or phone calls, and the girl was told which sexual services she was to provide. The girl was then allegedly forced to provide sexual services to numerous clients that attended the address in Hamilton, as well as provide sexual services to the first man as well. She was also allegedly forced to turn over all the money to him. So why didn't the guys just pay him directly? That's weird, but what am I thinking? It's further alleged that over the course of 4 days, the girl was forced to ingest a quantity of drugs, deprived of food and sleep, and was physically assaulted. The girl managed to escape on January 3rd, 2019, and called police. That same month, Toronto police arrested two suspects, Charlton Seeley, 35. Okay, I read a different article that listed different ages for these people, so that same month, Toronto police arrested two suspects, Charlton Seeley, 35, who police identified as the second man, and Shabaka Reed, 26, of Hamilton, who police identified as the third man. Both face multiple charges, including sexual assault, making child pornography, and trafficking a person under 18. 1 month later, police arrested Deanna Pacera, 27. She's also facing multiple charges, including publishing child pornography, exercising control, and trafficking a person under 18. On Monday, Sudbury police arrested a fourth person who police believed to be the quote-unquote first man. Troy Thornhill, 37, of Toronto, is facing multiple charges, including sexual assault, trafficking a person under 18, assault, possession of child pornography. Police say they're concerned there may be more victims.
Only at Goldman. Visit Goldman.com for details.
I'm going to need that in a second.
The 680 News Insider Club. It pays to belong.
This week, you could win a $250 gift card to spend at Linen Chest. Shop from bath, bedding, decor, and more. The Linen Chest is your one-stop shop for all home essentials. Now with more than 10,000 gift ideas for the holiday season. With 6 stores in the GTA, you aren't too far away from style and comfort you'll love.
Visit 680news.com for your chance to win and to sign up for the Insider Club.
Coming up in 60 seconds, we'll check in with Richard Southern at the Business Center.
680 Gears time, 10:25.
Smart people
with smart speakers
always listen to
Alexa, play 680 News.
Playing 680 News.
Winter's coming, but your fitness routine shouldn't hibernate. Hi, I'm Sean from New Balance Toronto, and we've got what you need to stay active this season. Our newest apparel has arrived. High-performance pieces that will keep you warm and dry, whatever the weather. During November, take advantage of the BOGO events. Buy any item and get the second for half price. It's a great time to stock up on the footwear styles you love. Some conditions apply. See store for details. There's more in store at New Balance Toronto, your fit specialist for 19 years.
Remember when her son tried water skiing for the first time at Club Med?
And when he went snorkeling. Oh, I can't forget the stars in his eyes.
Oh, and when he swung from the trapeze.
Yeah, he's still talking about it.
See how the fight lasts about 2 seconds and the high lasts for a lifetime.
What?
Confidence boost included.
What a way to promote it.
Make memories that will last a lifetime at Club Med this winter. Buy one night, get one free. Book by December 3rd with your travel professional or at clubmed.ca.
680 News Time, 10:26.
From the Business Report, here is Richard Southern. Good evening. The battle for Canada's oldest retailer is heating up again. Catalyst Capital Group, a private equity firm, has made a rival takeover bid for Hudson's Bay, one that's 70 cents higher than the current offer on the table from HBC Chairman Richard Baker and his group of shareholders. The Baker Group, though, says their offer is final. And I think the big question here is, how do these players
Who are you playing hardball with?
to
These
make
people
a
been around
profit
for 400
on the
years.
Bay?
Buddy.
Will they sell off stores? If so, how many? Hudson's Bay was founded in 1670 to trade furs, and for the better part of 349 years, Canadians had a lot of reasons to shop there. Now, though, maybe not so much. Millennial shoppers, after all, are particularly apt to buy online and direct from brands. Spelling trouble for the Bay and it's swapping 15 million square feet of physical retail space. Still, all these bids have been great news for HBC shareholders. Martin Ryder with the DeGroote School of Business.
Hudson's Bay shares were trading in the $9 range, and then you get an offer
let's
of
do a chip in.
$10.30,
Just
and
buy
then you
it.
get an
Buy
offer of
every
$11.
last share we can
That's
get.
well above the current trading value, and this
We're
sudden
not
interest
selling, motherfucker.
seems to come out of nowhere. But that's often because behind the scenes, they feel there's a turning point, a significant moment for the company. And do we go more to the one direction or do we go more in the other?
HBC stock today up 11 1/3% to $9.83. It's up a very comfortable 34% on the year. TSX did it again, another record high close, up 64 points to 17,100. It's up 19 1/3% on the year. On Wall Street, all the indices again at records, Dow up 42 to 28,164. S&P gaining 13 points to 3153. The Nasdaq up 57. U.S. third quarter GDP revised higher. That gave the bulls more fuel. Gold down to $1,460 and the looting at 75.25 cents U.S. This is 680 News. This is your weather station, 680 News.
Does your logistics company deliver freight and shipments near Finch in the 400? Help us save you costs and make on-time deliveries. Visit toronto.ca and search Finch Deliveries to fill out our survey. That's toronto.ca and search Finch Deliveries.
We all know what Black Friday means. With so many deals and so little time, it's tough to find the one you want. But what if you could get a deal on something tough? Like Canada's best-selling truck, the Ford F-150. Your Ford store has you covered. Right now, get over $12,000 in total value on select new 2019 F-150 models, but only for a limited time. Black Friday ends November 27th. Visit your local Ford store or Ford.ca.
It's time for the 680 News Business Travelers Forecast, brought to you by Park and Fly.
It's going to be in Colombia,
Park and Fly
Colombia.
and give your car that optional detailing or oil change it needs all while you're away. Let Park and Fly help you free up your weekend. Visit parkandfly.ca for details.
Montreal tomorrow, partly cloudy, -1 degree. Las Vegas, a possible lake rain and a high of 9. Chicago, overcast and 2. Miami, Florida, clear and 24. And New York City, clear and 6 degrees. This is CFTR 680 News. Listen 3, 4, 5 times a day, always in the know. 680 News Time, 10:30.
Number 1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Here are Scott Burnett and Caitlin Lee.
Good evening. It's Wednesday, November 27th.
Here's what's making news this hour.
The Queen Street streetcars weren't already packed enough.
It's a little tight in there.
Now they've all been replaced by buses until the TTC finds what's damaging the brakes.
Dozens of university students show up at the first court hearing for the man who was allegedly dumping buckets of feces on people's heads at 2 different university campuses.
A 1-2 punch during the busiest travel days of the year.
There's a
The storm in the
publication
west
ban
and the
on the
storm in the
case,
east,
says.
causing big travel
What they're
delays
talking
for
about.
U.S. Thanksgiving.
A good meeting for Canada, but no deal to announce yet on the new NAFTA. Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland attends high-level talks in Washington aimed at pushing the trade deal across the finish line.
The Maple Leafs hammer the Red
I heard
Wings
that story 4 times. I still don't know
in
what it
Detroit,
means.
while the Raptors pick up a big 126-98
I
win
know
over
what
the Knicks.
NAFTA is. I
Sports
grew
at
up with
45.
NAFTA.
Cineplex
Everybody
announces
hates
its
NAFTA.
movie theater concept of the future, featuring everything and the kitchen sink. We'll take a look. Stocks hit records again. The TSX up another 64 points. Business at 56.
It's time 10:31.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here is Craig Gear.
This report is brought to you by Shoppers Drug Mart. A few delays out there, and it's all because of construction right now. So they're mostly on the westbound 401 as well. So first off, it's really starting to get backed up through the construction west of Holt Road. You're down to a single lane through here, and it's backed up from approaching the construction at Holt now. And then we have some ramps that are blocked. The Avenue Allen ramps to the west 401. The ramp off the highway to southbound Allen is closed. Both the Dufferin ramps to the west 401 also shut down. The Keel ramps as well. And through Keel and the Collectors, you just have a single left lane getting through here, and it's very slow through this stretch. And again, it's very heavy through the construction on the westbound 401 west of Weston Indy Express. They're working in the 2 left lanes. And we had some debris reported just off the phone with the traffic spotter. It's again on the westbound 401. It's approaching Mavis. It's the left lane. Some debris there. Looks like a truck bed cover, something like that. The traffic spotter ran it over. He says
Did
it's
anybody
pretty
call
much
truck bed
unavoidable.
covered?
So
No, you
just
don't want
stay
to
off to
prize
the right
that.
side as you approach Mavis. MTO is aware, and they'll be out there to pick it up. Starting to see another delay again on the westbound 401. It's at the construction approaching the 404 DVP west of Victoria Park. It's in the Collectors. It's a slow drive, but once you get west of the 404 DVP, everything opens up again.
Those fucking things are supposed to be bolted on, too, right?
East of Port Union in the Collectors, crews are working in the 2 right lanes, and this is another area where we are seeing a slowdown. Visit Shoppers Drug Mart now until Friday, November 29th for the Black Friday Super Sale and enjoy big savings throughout the store. Save big, leave happy. Your next report is at 10:41, and with the forecast, here's Carl Lamb.
And temperatures are headed down to +3 tonight, but the winds still out of the southwest, sustained at Pearson right now at 20 kilometers per hour, gusting to 31. But areas outside of the GTA, including the city of Hamilton and the Niagara region, are seeing gusts much higher than that. And we will see gusts up to 50, possibly 60 kilometers per hour.
He doesn't want
through
to
the
fucking
evening.
admit it'll get to 60.
And
He's giving it to
eventually
you
we'll
in
shift
steps,
direction
right?
to the northwest.
31
That
rounds up
taps
to
into
60.
cooler air. So tomorrow's high is just +3. But then we slide down to an afternoon temperature of 0, and we'll have cloudy skies and a few morning rain showers, but that northwest wind hangs with us through the afternoon and eventually diminishes by the evening. Right now, 5 at Pearson, 6 at 680 News, and tonight's overnight low +3.
680 News Time, 10:33.
Well, it's a case for Sherlock Holmes. The TTC examining every inch of track along Queen Street, looking to find what is damaging streetcars.
680's Mark Douglas has the details on this tedious task.
The streetcars on Queen Street are out. Buses are in for
They
the
haven't said it,
foreseeable
but I'm
future.
thinking it's
the
all
TTC
7
equivalent
streetcars
of a
and the new
needle
ones.
in a haystack. Spokesperson Stuart Green says something on the rails somewhere along Queen Street, the longest streetcar route in the world, he says, is damaging the brakes as the streetcars pass overhead.
We've got 5 crews out that are track crews out literally going through every foot of track to try and find any deficiency that might be caused.
There's going to be one
Queen
lane
Street
closed on Queen
passengers are
Street and
worried
one lane
about
of
these
parking.
replacement buses, saying the much longer streetcars are already packed at rush hour.
There's no room, I guess. Some people just butt in and it's so very uncomfortable and it's a little tight in there.
Yeah, people will cut in front of you and be standing behind 30 other people.
Streetcars they've taken out, and they've added more streetcars on King Street to help with the overflow. On Queen Street beside the Eaton Center, I'm Mark Douglas.
680 News Time, 10:35. A large number of university students among those crowding into Toronto courtroom today, hoping to get a look at the 23-year-old accused in 3 separate feces-throwing incidents. Here's 680's Nolan Karashi.
For the first court hearing, there is a very unusually large crowd here. Of the more than 70 people, most of them are U of T students.
I never
Like
get that many
second-year
people at my
Udvig,
fucking
who says
appearance.
the past few days on campus
There's
have
not
been
many people
very
there, but they're not
tense,
there for
so
me.
he felt compelled to be here.
Ultimately, I did want to see what this man had to say for himself, and also I think it's important to come and see justice served.
What he did get to witness is 23-year-old 23-year-old Samuel Okopu sitting in the holding box with his head hanging so low from the back, you could only see his shoulders. He's wearing a denim shirt with the top buttons undone and gray pants. I asked his lawyer, Jordan Wise, if Okopu will undergo a psychiatric evaluation.
Too early to say that at this point, really. We're keeping all our options open, certainly.
At Old City Hall, I'm Omen Qureshi.
680 News Time at 10:36. Twin storms triggering travel chaos stateside for U.S. Thanksgiving, along with weather alerts here in southern Ontario. 680's Michelle Mackey with more on the Weather Watch.
680 meteorologist Carl Lamb says wind is the primary concern here at home, and it will drop the temperatures to the freezing mark by the end of the week.
Because that wind is going to shift direction from the southwest, which typically brings in slightly warmer air, shifted to the northwest, which brings in that cooler northern air.
This storm and a second one in the western states led to more than 4,500 flight delays and 150 cancellations in the U.S. Bad news during the busiest travel days of the year. And heading to NYC, the iconic giant balloons in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade may have to be grounded if the wind does not ease. That decision still up in the air. I'm Michelle Mackey.
680 News Time, 10:37. Breaking news from out west. The firestorm surrounding Bill Peters continues to burn, and this may not douse the flames. Peters breaking his silence about the racism allegations made against him. 680's Jared Launchbury has the details.
Peters at least partially admitting to the accusations made by former player Akeem Aliu a decade ago. In a statement to General Manager Brad Treliving, Peters says, quote, "The statement was made in a moment of frustration and does not reflect my personal values."
Buddy, that's when your personal values come out.
And immediately returned to the dressing room and apologized to the team. He does say his language was not directed at any particular player, which contradicts Aliu's claims he was called the N-word several times for his choice of music. Peters apologizing for his words before finishing off his statement, saying he supports the review by the Flames. Treliving briefly addressing the statement following the team's game in Buffalo.
We are not trying to stall or take time or drag our feet. It's a serious matter, and it's involving serious subject matter.
An update is expected tomorrow. I'm Jared Launchbury.
Police in Kingston searching for a small plane that went down in the northwest part of the city this evening. The Transportation Safety Board of Canada saying the accident involved a Piper PA-32. No word yet on any injuries. A team of investigators will be deployed to the crash site tomorrow morning.
Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland has wrapped up a hastily arranged high-level meeting in Washington on the new NAFTA. She's feeling good, but there's no deal yet to finally push the trade pact across the finish line.
A good trilateral meeting.
Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland seemed optimistic as she left the talks with her American and Mexican counterparts, but she won't say how close they are to a final agreement to get this deal ratified. Speaking on the CBC, Freeland says she won't be negotiating in public.
What I will say is Canada believes in this agreement. We have a strong interest in having this deal ratified in all three countries.
The new NAFTA was signed last year, but has been stalled in Congress as Democrats negotiate the White House to add new labor provisions. If progress isn't made now, there's little chance of ratification before U.S. politics is swamped in impeachment proceedings and preparations for the next presidential election. Mexico's the only country so far to have ratified the deal. Cormac McSwinney, Parliament Hill.
In 30 seconds, we'll check gas prices.
680 News Time, 10:39.
As a homeowner, you have built-up equity value in your home. With Capital Direct, equity equals flexibility for homeowners. Flexibility to finance your business, flexibility to renovate your home, or flexibility to pay off other things like property taxes. Call Capital Direct at 1-800-NEW-CAPITAL. .ca. 96% of existing Capital Direct's clients surveyed would recommend Capital Direct to family, friends, or colleagues.
Now the 680 News gas price update. Enpro predicts the price will rise as said at midnight to $1.18.9 a liter at most GTA stations. Traffic and weather in 60 seconds.
680 News Time, 10:40.
Black Friday is here, and that means everyone will be having a blowout sale. But at Volvo, With our Scandinavian craftsmanship, intuitive technology, and legendary safety, we'll be hosting our very own Black Friday event. This November 29th and 30th, save up to $7,000 on select Volvo models at your local GTA Volvo retailer. And celebrate Black Friday like never before. Tastefully. You excited?
I'm
Non-whack, right?
Me too.
Non-whack.
It's Black Friday at Wireless Wave.
Dan, it's our anniversary.
Oops. Black Friday at Wireless Wave.
This is way down in
Amazing
the city.
deals
How
on
the fuck
plans,
did they not find it
accessories,
in
and
the
the
city?
latest phones. iPhone XR, iPhone 11, Samsung Galaxy S10, Google Pixel 4, and more. Starting from $0. Head to Wireless Wave or wirelesswave.ca now. Offers valid with new in-store activation of select 2-year plans only. Conditions apply. Details in store.
1041.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here is Craig Gear.
This report is brought to you by Air Canada Vacations. So we have a bit of a delay on the eastbound 401. It's through the construction east of Port Union in the collectors. Crews have the 2 right lanes blocked off. So that's pretty much the only delay on the eastbound side of the 401. Plenty to go around on the westbound side, though. Starting with the construction west of Holt Road, it's got 2 left lanes closed, just a single right lane getting through. It's backed up from approaching Holt. And then we're seeing delays. Just slight delays just west of McCowan in the collectors here. They've got the transfer in this area shut down, so it's just a touch slow through here. And then also construction that begins just west of Victoria Park in the collectors. It's slow through this stretch. More delays on the westbound 401 through Kiel in the collectors, just a single left lane squeezing by here. I think they're in the process of closing down the collector lanes completely, but we'll let you know. But as of right now, traffic is getting through. We have the Avenue, the Allen, the Dufferin, and the heel ramps to the westbound 401 all shut down. And then west to Weston and the express crews are working in the 2 left lanes here. And it's very, very slow through this stretch of maintenance as well. And debris reported approaching Mavis in the left lane, a truck bed cover. MTO is aware, and they should be on the way to pick it up. Air Canada Vacations Black Friday sale starts early. Get up to 40% off vacation packages to all destinations. Contact your travel agent to book today. Your next report is at 10:51 with the forecast. Here's Carl Lamb.
And it's just going to stay windy tonight, mostly cloudy, down to a low of 3. Tomorrow's high will be 3, but temperatures are falling. So dress for the afternoon. We're going to have an afternoon temperature of 0, a wind chill of -6 during the day. It's cloudy and a few morning rain showers, but that northwest wind is going to have a little bit of a bite to it. 25 to 40 kilometers per hour, gusting to 60, and then sunshine returns with calmer winds for Friday and just a high of 0. Right now, 5 degrees at Pearson International, 6 degrees in downtown Toronto. Tonight's overnight low +3.
680 News Time, 1043.
One of the stars of the upcoming Star Wars film has admitted it was his script that was stolen and put on eBay.
Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, the culmination of 9 movies, and its secrets are among the most closely guarded in Hollywood history, unless you're John Boyega.
I had a long night. I wore my boys over. It was a party night, and so the scripts got left underneath that bed.
That was at his apartment, and he tells us a housekeeper found it, put it on eBay, and then Disney stepped in.
There was actually a security team of guys, which I think they should have their own biopic. They were like house raids.
The script had his name on every page, but he was surprisingly chill about the whole thing.
I can't lie, I didn't care. Film's done. We wrapped. Ain't nothing you can do.
Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker is up December 20th. Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Hollywood.
680 News Time, 1044.
We all know what Black Friday means. With so many deals and so little time, it's tough to find the one you want. But what if you could get a deal on something tough? Like Canada's best-selling truck, the Ford F-150. Your Ford store has you covered. Right now, get over $12,000 in total value on select new 2019 F-150 models, but only for a limited time. Black Friday ends November 27th. Visit your local Ford store or Ford.ca.
It's no mystery that Tasco Appliances has the most knowledgeable pros and widest selection in the GTA. What is the mystery is how much you'll save this weekend at Tasco's Mystery Envelope event. You could save as much as 40% off your qualifying purchase, and every envelope is a winner. Do Black Friday the Tasco way and open your mystery envelope this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at a Tasco near you. Visit TascoAppliance.ca for details.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
It is partly cloudy, 5 degrees. Good evening from the 680 News Broadcast Center in downtown Toronto. I'm Caitlin Lee.
I'm Scott Burnett. Here are the top stories this hour.
They're searching for a needle in a haystack, the longest streetcar route in North America, not in operation tonight or
It's just been running for like 100 years, but they can all of a
buses are
sudden
running
don't
in
let
place
them.
instead.
Out of the blue.
TTC authorities are looking for something along the rails that's damaging the vehicle's brakes. And a pair of storms in the U.S. bringing wind and rain to the GTA. And what bad timing. It's the busiest travel time of the year down south with American Thanksgiving tomorrow. And police in Kingston are searching for a small plane that went down in the northwest part of the city this evening. The Transportation Safety Board of Canada says it involved a Piper PA-32. A team of investigators will be deployed to the crash site tomorrow morning.
Oh, wow.
Now time for 680 Sports with Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Here is George Russick.
Kalen, the Leafs rolled to a big win in the Motor City. Travis Dermott scored 64 seconds into the game for Toronto, who would never look back in a 6-0 beatdown of the Red Wings in Detroit. Frederick Anderson made 25 stops for the shutout and admits he kind of had it easy.
Played well the whole game and try to keep the puck on our sticks as much as possible. I thought we did a hell of a job of that. Guys had the puck the whole second period, I felt like, and most of the games.
Andreas Janssen had 2 goals and an assist, while Tyson Berry, John Tavares, and William Nylander also scored for the Maple Leafs, improved to 3-0 under new head coach Sheldon Keefe. Elsewhere, the Flames clipped the Sabres 3-2 in overtime in Buffalo, with associate coach Jeff Ford behind the bench in place of Bill Peters, who was away from the team after allegations surfaced of Peters using racist slurs against a Nigerian-born player 10 years ago. Spicy P and the Raps smoked the Knicks at Scotiabank.
Powell cutting through the lane left to right, gobbled up down low by Ellington, stays with it though, to kick it out to Siakam for the triple in the far corner. You got to be good to be lucky.
Pascal Siakam tied a career high with 5 threes and had 31 points to power the Raptors past the Knicks 126-98. Fred VanVleet added 15 points with 4 assists and 3 boards for Toronto, who improved to 8-0 at home on the season for the first time in franchise history. Sports at 15:45 past every hour. Morning time in the home of Tim and Sid, now on radio and TV. Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
680 News Time 10:48.
Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. Active Green and Ross.
At Active Green and Ross, we want you to get out and enjoy winter. Visit your local tire and service experts at Active Green and Ross and save $70 on a set of Michelin tires. Plus, get 3 years of free roadside assistance. We will not be undersold, so keep it rolling.
What the fuck does that make sense?
Active Green and Ross.
See store for details.
What's better than a Hyundai Black Friday offer? How about 2 great Hyundai Black Friday offers? We're always looking to give you more. So you get a $750 Black Friday bonus on select
I would have said Friday, but I'd be wrong. These sales are almost wrong.
credit on select models. The Black Friday event. No wonder Hyundai has Canada's hottest lineup. But hurry, these offers end December 2nd. Conditions apply. Visit HyundaiCanada.com or your dealer for details.
680 News Time 10:48.
Massachusetts is the first U.S. state to ban flavored tobacco and nicotine vaping products, including menthol cigarettes.
Governor Charlie Baker signed the bill as more reports are coming in of illnesses and deaths connected to vaping.
The public health issues associated with this and the lack of an answer with respect to what was actually causing these injuries and these deaths, in the end, made this, from our point of view, the right call.
Sales of flavored vaping products end immediately in Massachusetts. Menthol cigarette sales end next year. Baker thinks more states will follow with bans of their own because of a lack of action in Washington.
The simple fact of the matter is it's pretty clear at this point in time there isn't going to be a federal policy on this anytime soon.
A convenience store association may challenge the new law in court. I'm Ed Donahue.
680 News Time 10:49. Conventional fillings may be pointless for treating rotting teeth in children, according to researchers in Scotland. They found no evidence the treatment is more effective at reducing pain and infection than brushing well and cutting down on sugar. They say giving children fillings may achieve nothing but expose them to the discomfort of an injection, and the sound of the drill. In 60 seconds, we'll check traffic and weather.
680 News Time, 10:50.
Aaron Park.
Steve, why did you decide to buy an Aaron Park Lexus?
Looked for a change. I wanted a new vehicle. I've always heard they're good to people. They're honest. They get things done, and they stand behind their product. Aaron Park Lexus was amazing. He made the buying process easy for me.
Is that right?
That's it. They always put a smile on my face.
Aaron Park.
This month, get $2,000 incentive on 2020 RX 350s with 2.9% lease rates up to 40 months.
Aaron Park.
How does Sugar Plum Fairy transform Canada's Wonderland into the world of Winterfest?
We need lights, millions of them, a gigantic Christmas tree, and Snoopy and the Peanuts gang, and ice skating and carolers spreading cheer, and more lights, and a heap of live shows and family rides. With lights!
Hurry, for magic only lasts on the world of Canada's Wonderland's Winterfest. Select dates through December 31st.
Get unlimited Winterfest this year and next when you purchase a 2020 Gold Season Pass. Get yours at canadaswonderland.com.
680 News Time, 10:51.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Craig Gear.
This report is brought to you by GP Bikes. So just one delay on the eastbound 401 through the construction east of Port Union in the collectors. Crews have the two right lanes closed, and it's very slow through here. On the westbound 401, very slow through the construction just west of Holt Road. A single right lane is open. It's backed up from approaching Holt and all throughout this journey. And then on the westbound 401, crews are working in the collectors at Brimley. The left lane is blocked. Things seem to be getting back up to speed through here. I think we were just slowing down as crews worked to close the transfer from express to collectors at Brimley as well. We have some construction west of Victoria Park in the collectors, stretching over to the 404 DVP. It's the two left lanes that are blocked. Again, we were seeing some slowdowns, but everything seems to be picking back up again through this stretch, but it is there, so heads up. Still slow through Keele in the collectors, where you just have a single left lane getting by. So you're not up to highway speeds, but it's not jam solid. So that's the good news. We have the Avenue, the Allen, the Dufferin, and the Keele ramps to the westbound 401, all shut down, so heads up. It looks like they're preparing to close the collector lanes fully. We'll let you know when that happens. It's very slow on the west 401 through the construction west of Weston in the express. Crews are working in the two left lanes, so heads up through here and be prepared for a slowdown unless you can get into the collectors. Southbound 404 ramp to the eastbound 401, that's been shut down. Traveling northbound on the DVP, looking at volume between Eglinton up to York Mills. Black Friday bike specials are on now at GP Bikes. Finance select models for as low as 0% OAC, or ask how you won't pay a cent until spring. Black Friday at GP Bikes, your power sports authority. Your next report is at 11:01, and with the forecast, here's Carl Lamb. And we're headed down to 3 degrees tonight, mostly cloudy and still staying windy, and it's going to be windy into tomorrow as well. Those winds don't diminish until tomorrow evening, but it's cloudy and a few morning rain showers possible, and that northwest wind, it's going to make things feel quite cool tomorrow. So the early high is 3, afternoon temperature of 0. It will feel like -6. 0 again for Friday with the sunshine returning to the GTA, but clouding up for Saturday with a high of -2. And then for Sunday, we get to +2, but it's a big storm system that's coming in, and this is what's ravaging the west portion of the United States right now, and it's going to make its way close to us and bring ice pellets and potentially even some accumulating wet snow. Right now, 5 at Pearson, 6 in downtown Toronto. Tonight's overnight low +3. 680 News Time, 10:54. This extended forecast is brought to you by Cold Drops.
One drop for temporary relief of sore throat and nasal congestion.
Cold Drops.
Cold Drops are available at Metro pharmacies near you. This product may not be right for you. Always read and follow the label.
I have your coffee. What's wrong? I'm just stressed. I have to move 200 people to the 4th floor. Call by Design. I have to find moving bins, install workstations, old furniture removal. Call by Design. Find an IT team, storage, and hang pictures. Call by Design. They do everything. Everything? Well, everything except getting your people to stop popping the bubble wrap.
By Design Commercial Moving Solutions. We move small offices to large warehouses and everything in between. When you look good, it's By Design. Contact us at bydesignofficemovers.com.
Now you can listen to 680 News on your Sonos smart speaker, Amazon Echo, or any Google Chromecast-enabled device, like Google Home, with the free Radio Player Canada app.
In the car, tune in using Radio Player on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Radio Player Canada. It's where Canadian radio plays.
The city of Toronto is fighting in the tenants' corner, adopting a new policy change that could soon see apartments being subjected to a color rating system, just like in restaurants. When you see the green safe dining certificate, landlords would also have to post a color-coded sign. The move comes as the city continues to pay in the millions for housing and social services for tenants of 650 Parliament Street. In 1 minute, we'll check in at the Business Center.
680 News Time, 10:55. It's back. Our Black Friday sale is here, and it's bigger than ever. I'm Steve Forberg, CEO of Decorium. Sometimes the best things in life we have yet to discover. At Decorium, we are more than a furniture store. We are a destination worth discovering. Visit today and save up to 80% off store-wide. Save on floor models, overstock, and last call items. Hurry in for the best selection. Sale ends Monday, or shop online at Decorium.com. Destination Decorium, where the finest quality meets good value.
Switch from your current alarm provider today and save. The Monitoring Center reviews say it all. Join the tens of thousands of homeowners who wish they had switched to the Monitoring Center sooner. Call us today or visit us at themonitoringcenter.com for a free quotation and start saving now. Think security? Think the Monitoring Center. Why? Because we care.
1-866-24-7 or $9.99. 1-866-24-7 or $9.99. 680 1056.
Now time for your business report. Here is Richard Southern.
Good evening. Attendance at theaters has been declining, and so Canada's largest movie theater chain is continuing to try and diversify its business. Today, Cineplex unveiled what it says will be the concept for future movie theaters. They're calling it Junction. The first one's actually going to open soon in the Erin Mills Town Center. It's going to have more food options, an upscale food hall with food trucks. There's going to be an upscale bar with handcrafted cocktails. There'll be video games, live music, trivia nights. Oh, and yeah, movies too. There'll be 6 screens. Sarah Van Lang, a spokesperson for Cineplex.
There's a rooftop area with a bar and an area to play. Like right now, the plans are turning like a shuffleboard as well. And up there is also an outdoor screen. So imagine sitting in Muskoka chairs and having a drink and watching a second-run movie.
It's kind of Cineplex saying, you know, acknowledging that ticket sales are down, acknowledging we have to further diversify, right?
The movie business is strong. What this is showing is that Canadians are gravitating towards experiences.
If it's so strong that we're not rolling out new, restaurants and, VR and shuffleboard and all that, right?
I think people are looking for different ways to enjoy films, particularly in a social and shared experience.
Think of it as the company's popular rec room concept, but with some movie screens as well. Cineplex stock was up 2.5% today. $25.44. Markets at records. Again, the TSX up another 64 points to 17,100, up 19.33% on the year now. Saw a broad-based rally today. Boosting the mood on Wall Street was U.S. third quarter growth, which was revised higher. The Dow up 42 at 28,164. S&P up 13 points to 31.53. The Nasdaq gaining 57. The price for gold down almost $7, $1,460, and the Canadian dollar at 75.27 cents U.S. Top stories are next on 680 News.
I'm Mark Mendelson, and when they go low, we go low.
It's Black Friday week at Bay Blue Radio. Our lowest prices of the year on turntables, headphones, TVs, and speakers.
When they go fast, we go slow.
Personal attention, expert advice, one customer at a time.
Find us in the Manulife Center, down the hall from Italy, or online at BayBlueRadio.com.
There's only one Bay Blue Radio, the right sound for the right price.
Hi, it's Fido. Holiday deals are here, and that means Black Friday is on. So kickstart with an epic deal. The Samsung Galaxy S10e or A70 is $0 on select 2-year plans. You literally can't beat that price. And with the new data overage protection, going over is over. So don't stress over that shopping spree. Black Friday deals are for 1 week only, so get them in store and at Fido.ca while they're hot, because it's getting cold out. Conditions apply. Fido, go get it.
Now, 680 News regional weather conditions for Walmart.
Walmart's Black Friday early deals are here. Save $100 on an RCA 40-inch 1080p TV. Now only $148, while quantities last at Walmart.
In Brampton, 5 degrees, partly cloudy. Downtown Toronto, 6 degrees with some clouds. It's 5 at Pearson Airport. 680 News Time, 11 o'clock.
for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News, Toronto.
Here are Scott Burnett and Caitlin Lee.
Good evening. This is Wednesday, November 27th.
Here's what's making news this hour.
Every single streetcar on Queen Street is out of service.
They're being replaced by buses for the foreseeable future.
The TTC says something on the rails is damaging the brakes.
With dozens of university students on hand, the man accused of dumping feces on people in 3 separate incidents makes his first court appearance.
More than 31 million people expected to travel for U.S. Thanksgiving. The 2 major storms are wreaking havoc stateside during the busiest travel days of the year.
Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland says they're working to push the new NAFTA across the finish line, but nothing to announce yet after high-level talks in Washington.
The Maple Leafs and Raptors both win big. Sports at 15.
Toronto becoming a hotbed for tech talent. We're looking at a new report. RBC says turbulence ahead for stocks, but not today. We saw records again for the TSX and Wall Street. Business at 26.
680 News Time, 11:01.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones at the traffic center this evening. Let's check in with Craig Gear.
This report is brought to you by Napoleon, just off the phone with a traffic spotter, saying through the construction of the eastbound 401 east of Port Union in the collectors, they're working in the 2 right lanes, but it also stretches over to Whites Road, and it's blocked the off-ramp from the East 401 to Whites Road. That is something that the MTO did not let me know about, so she missed her exit, and it's all my fault. I'm very sorry. So it looks like now the MTO has closed the off-ramp from the East 401 to Whites Road because of this construction stretching from east of Port Union all the way over. We are seeing delays here on the eastbound 401 through this construction zone. On the westbound 401, it is still slow west of Holt Road, 2 left lanes of construction, just a single right lane open. It's a slow one through this stretch. Through Grimley and the collectors, crews are working in the left lane. And then west of Victoria Park over to the 404 DVP, crews are in the collectors in the 2 left lanes. With the Avenue, the Allen, the Dufferin, and the Keel ramps to the highway closed off. And through Keel and the collectors, you're just down to a single left lane. Not seeing too much traffic going through here now. It seems to have calmed down nicely, but just a heads up, you are down to a single lane, and we'll watch for them to close the collector lanes completely, but it hasn't happened just yet. Still very slow in the westbound 401 west of Weston Indy Express. The crews are working in the 2 left lanes. It's a slow drive. Northbound DVP, just volume. Eglinton up to York Mills, on and off again. And if you're south on the 404, the ramp to the eastbound 401 has been shut down. It's true, Napoleon makes furnaces, and they're made here in Canada. So trust Napoleon to keep your home warm in the winter. Plus, play Spin to Win for a chance to win your furnace. Visit NapoleonHeating.com for more. Your next report is at 11:11. And with the forecast, here's Carl Lamb. And it is just going to be windy this evening. Those winds have been sustained between 20 to occasionally 40 kilometers per hour. Those gusts to between 40 to 60 kilometers per hour. From the southwest, they will shift to the northwest during the overnight, so a low of +3, and that will be tomorrow's high. And then we slide all the way down to 0 for an afternoon temperature, feeling like -6 under a cloudy sky with a few morning showers. Right now, 5 at Pearson, 6 at 680 News. Tonight's overnight low +3.
680 News Time, 11:03.
Your streetcar commuter on Queen Street becoming more of a pain. Something along the tracks is apparently damaging the car's brakes, and it could take some time to find the culprit.
680's Mark Douglas tells us, while the TTC works on finding the answer, streetcars along North America's busiest route will be replaced with buses.
Every single streetcar has been taken out of service on Queen Street. Something, somewhere on the rails, is damaging the brakes. Stuart Green from the TTC says this affects the 501, 501L, and the 508.
Those 3 routes are suspended for streetcar service. They're being replaced by buses for the foreseeable future.
Replacing streetcars with buses, especially during rush hour, is a bit worrisome for Queen Street commuters. 100%. It's not the most convenient thing to happen, especially in this weather right now. Extra streetcars have been brought in on King Street to help. The TTC is now checking every foot of track from one end of Queen to the other. It's the longest streetcar route in the world on Queen Street beside the Eaton Center. I'm Mark Douglas. 680 News Time, 11:05. We have breaking news from Kingston this hour, where police have now confirmed that several people have died after a small aircraft crashed earlier tonight. Police say they are securing the area and waiting for Transportation Canada officials to arrive at the scene. The plane that went down was a Piper PA-32. 2. Stay with 680 News for the latest.
Oh, God, you
Recent
bastard.
anxieties of U of T students may have been alleviated today after many attended the brief court hearing of a 23-year-old man accused of throwing feces at people. 680's Mola Qureshi has more.
More than 70 people are here for this hearing, most of them U of T students like Michael, who felt the need to be here.
I was reading about it online where they were talking about the court hearings today, and they were saying if anyone is going, please just to let us know what happens and stuff, tell us what happened. So in a way, I did think of myself as representing U of T in a way.
23-year-old Samuel Okopu entering the courtroom wearing a blue denim shirt with the top couple of buttons undone and gray pants. He sits in the holding box with his head hanging low. His lawyer, Jordan Wise, says his client understands what's going on, is fit to go through this process, and deserves the presumption of innocence.
Shocked by the allegations and overwhelmed by the intense scrutiny that this is attracted.
At Old City Hall, I'm Oman Qureshi.
Here in the GTA, the up and down weather ride we've been on for the last few weeks is about to take a big dip, and while south of the border, winter weather is making for a less than ideal Thanksgiving travel weekend. 680's Michelle Mackey is on the Weather Watch.
More than 4,500 flight delays and 150 cancellations reported in the U.S., while 32 states are under weather advisories. This thanks to a major storm in the west and one in the east. Bad timing for travelers. According to Airlines for America, a record 31.6 million people expected to travel by air over the Thanksgiving holiday, while AAA says nearly 50 million people will be on the roads. Rain, snow, and wind will impact a wide swath of the country. 680 meteorologist Carl Lamb says one of those storms could bring snow to the GTA Sunday.
It looks like we could see about 5 to 10 centimeters. Some models are suggesting maybe even 15 centimeters.
And Sunday will be the single busiest travel day of the year. Keep an eye on the status of your flight. I'm Michelle Mackey.
We have an update on a hit and run last week that sent an 84-year-old man to hospital. It happened Friday night at St. Clair Avenue West and Christie Street. Toronto police now say the victim has died of his injuries in hospital. Investigators are looking for a blue SUV that struck the man. Anyone with information is asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers.
680 News Time 11:07. Having to fill up the gas tank can make or break your day, and experts say the upward trend of gas prices over the next decade could be a lot more dramatic than expected. Nigel Newlove of City News explains.
A 40-cent gas price hike over the next 10 years. It's one of the recommendations from a new report on fighting climate change. The report finds that hiking Canada's carbon tax is the easiest and cheapest way of reaching our 2030 carbon targets.
Give me your real policies. Bring them on. We'll compare them. That's what we did. And the one that is the least costly for the Canadian economy, by far, is carbon pricing.
The report, which has been 5 years in the making, was released by Canada's Eco-Fiscal Commission, which was given the task to come up with ways to address climate change without killing the economy. It found that hiking the cost of a liter of gas by 4.4 cents per liter every year is the cheapest way of meeting our emissions target. In Ottawa, Nigel Newlove, City News.
Most people are going to be trying to get more
680
money.
News Time, 11:08.
They
No
didn't get the car,
deal
it's
yet to
parked.
finally give official approval to the new NAFTA. This after Canada's Deputy Prime Minister quickly made her way to Washington for a hastily arranged high-level meeting on the trade pact. 680's Parliament Hill reporter Cormac McSweeney has more.
While there's still no major announcement about the stalled ratification process, Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland left the talks feeling good.
Glad to be here, to be working with our American and Mexican colleagues to get the new NAFTA across the finish line.
Speaking on the CBC, Freeland calls it a good meeting for Canada, but won't say what's being discussed at the table or how close they may be to a breakthrough. The White House has been negotiating for months with Democrats who have been pushing for new labor provisions, but now Canada and Mexico have been brought into the mix. If progress isn't made soon, the ratification could get lost in impeachment proceedings and next year's presidential election. All three countries need to ratify the deal before it's enforced, but so far only Mexico has given approval. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
In 30 seconds, we'll check on the price at the pumps.
680 News Time, 11:09.
This is 680 News.
Have we met? I'm Christopher Lina, General Manager, Lexus Downtown, and I'd like to personally invite you to our 3-day Black Friday event. It's this Thursday through Saturday, and it's a rare opportunity for you to experience a Lexus for as low as 0.9% or purchase at this event and receive cash incentives up to $8,000. I'd love to meet you. Visit lexusdowntown.ca for details. Part of the Downtown Auto Group. You are what drives us.
Now the 680 News gas price update. Enpro breaks the price of the post will go up a cent to midnight to $1.18.9 a liter.
680 News Time, 11:10.
If you've been waiting for the right time to buy new furniture, this is the time, and Aero Furniture is the place. Don't miss the Aero Furniture Black Friday sale on now till Monday. There are amazing anniversary specials and up to 50% off on select furniture. And don't pay the tax on anything else store-wide. Or don't pay until 2021. Hurry into Aero Furniture's Black Friday sale at all 4 locations in the GTA. Now till Monday only. Find out more at aerofurniture.com. That's aerofurniture.com.
Kathleen Madigan, 8 o'clock happy hour tour.
I know I won't vote for any politician who says this. I'm here to make your dreams come true. Wouldn't you like your dreams to come true? No, I don't. And the fact that you said that makes me certain you have never drank a box of wine and taken an Ambien.
Kathleen Madigan, Saturday, March 28th, Niagara Falls View Casino. Get reserved seats now at fallsviewcasinoresort.com and get more at KathleenMadigan.com. Don't miss Kathleen Madigan.
680 News Time, 11:11. Traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Greg here.
This report brought to you by your Toronto area Ford dealers. And we have some construction delays eastbound on the 401. It's east of Port Union in the collectors. Crews with the 2 right lanes blocked off here. Traffic spotters letting me know that it stretches all the way to Whites Road as well. So the ramp off the east 401 to Whites Road is also blocked off. Coming back on the westbound 401, quite a few extra delays along the westbound side. West of Holt Road, 2 left lanes of construction, just single right lane getting by here. It's backed up as you approach Holt Road. And then through Brimley and the collectors, they've got the 2 left lanes closed off. And the transfer at Brimley into the collectors is also blocked. So if this is where you usually make your transfer over, you won't be able to do that. And then also at the 404, the transfer into the collectors here is closed off. So keep that in mind. Also west of Victoria Park up to the 404 DVP and the collectors to working in the 2 left lanes. But everything seems to be up to speed through this stretch again. We have the Avenue, Allen, the Dufferin, and the Keel ramps onto the westbound 401. All shut down for maintenance. The ramp to southbound Allen through this stretch again is also shut down. And the collector ramp to the 403 has now been closed off of the westbound 401. North 400 ramp to the east 401 closed tonight. Northbound DVP 404 combination, pretty good shape on the DVP. Traveling north on the 404, you'll find the ramp to 16th Avenue shut down. South 404 ramp onto the eastbound 401, that's also closed now. The West Mall ramp to the westbound QEW, that's shut down. And the West QEW ramp to Huron, Ontario has also been closed. And the eastbound Highway 7 ramp to the South 427 also shut down for maintenance. Until November 27th, get up to $5,500 in rebates on select new 2019 Ford Escape models, plus no extra charge winter tires, rims, and sensors during Black Friday. Visit findyourford.ca. Your next report is at 11:21, and with the forecast, here's Carl Lamb.
And that light rain continues all the way from Oshawa over to Mississauga right now. Even in the downtown core, seeing a little bit of rain. But once you're north of Highway 7, not seeing any rain. And you're probably wondering, what rain is he talking about? Well, it's just isolated in nature, and we're headed down to +3 tonight. Those winds are still going to be swirling around all night long. They will shift into the northwest. Northwesterly direction and bring us colder air for tomorrow. So the high of 3 for tomorrow morning, that is going to be reached very early. We drop to 0 during the afternoon. It will feel like -6 during the day with a cloudy day overall, a few morning rain showers, and then we may see a little sunshine in the afternoon, and then Friday high of 0 with sunshine. Right now 5 at Pearson, 6 at 680 News. Tonight's overnight low +3.
680 News Time, 11:14.
Obstacles and mortgages go together like first dates and spaghetti. Especially if you've been through a bankruptcy, consumer proposal, or debt settlement. Remember the name Duga. Jaspreet Duga and his team have options for you. Alternative mortgages, private mortgages. Jaspreet Duga works for you, not the lenders. So you get the best terms and rates. Get started today at dugamortgages.ca. That's DHUGGA mortgages.ca. And tear down those obstacles. License 12880.
Aren't you fed up with most stores turning Black Friday into Black Friday? You know,
Lame deals on stuff you don't want? That's why Gomez is hosting a non-whack Black Friday with an extra scratch and save event. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you'll scratch up to 30% off your qualifying purchase. Finally, a non-whack Black Friday, only at Gomez.
Non-whack.
Visit Gomez.com for details.
Where are all you people coming from?
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
Overcast at 6 degrees in downtown Toronto. Good evening from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm Scott Burnett.
And I'm Caitlin Lee. Here are the top stories this hour.
TTC buses have replaced all streetcars along Queen Street for the foreseeable future. As crews work to find what's damaging the streetcars' brakes. Extra streetcars will be added to the King Street route to help with the overflow. Breaking news from Kingston this hour, where police say there are numerous fatalities after a small plane crash earlier this evening. No word on the identity of the victims or what led to the crash. Stay with 680 News for the latest. And two major storms wreaking havoc on Thanksgiving travel plans. The busiest travel weekend in the U.S. coming up this American long weekend. Those systems also bringing a bit of rain and a dip in temperatures here in the GTA. Your forecast coming up. Time for 680 Sports, and from Sportsnet 5 fan George Russer.
Scott, Andreas Janssen had a pair and added an assist for the Maple Leafs in a 6-0 pounding of the Red Wings in Detroit. Frederick Anderson made 25 saves for the shutout for Sheldon Keefe, who improved to 3-0 as head coach. So, Sheldon, how does that feel?
Better than the alternative. We feel good about how things have gone. The players have responded beautifully. They've played extremely well, and certainly deserve all the credit here.
Travis Dermott, Tyson Barrett, John Tavares, and William Nylander also scored for the Maple Leafs, who were in Buffalo on Friday. Speaking of those Sabres, Buffalo lost 3-2 in OT at home to Calgary. The Flames were without head coach Bill Peters amid allegations of Peters using racist slurs against a Nigerian-born player 10 years ago. Pascal Siakam scored a game-high 31 points for the Raptors in their 126-98 thumping of the Knicks at Scotiabank. Siakam tied a career high with 5 3-pointers, which is what head coach Nick Nurse likes to see.
A lot of catch-and-shoot threes, which I love. Those are easy possessions. You don't have to get pounded on or make 3 spin moves to get a shot up or anything. It's nice that he gets to come down and take some of those.
Fred VanVleet and Terrence Davis added 15 points each for Toronto, who picked up their 33rd consecutive home win against a division opponent, which is an NBA record. The Raps are also 8-0 at home for the first time. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour, or anytime in the home in Tippensett, now on radio and TV. Sportsnet 590 The Fan. 680 News Time, 11:17.
At Rogers, get business-grade wireless solutions like iPhone XR 64 gig. Now $0 on a 3-year business share plan. Visit Rogers.com/plans for biz.
You can make more.
Rising 47 stories above church in Adelaide comes a building that can only be described as remarkable. Introducing The Saint from Minto Communities. The Saint takes its place alongside Toronto's